Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of your favorite show where a phone rings in the background of every time I talk about something. God damn it. Rams are Baghdad. I'm your host, Albie, the man whose phone just started ringing in the other room, and now I'm wondering what the hell it could be. Joining me today on this podcast, episode 177, Mary.
Hi. Don't ask me what the number is. I'm not keeping track. That's for sure.
Cool. All right. Also joining us, DJ.
All I know is we passed 169.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Shit.
True. We're getting old, guys. I don't know if you know this. Also, I have a flight stick, so I'm just gonna be like, if you're wondering what my arm is doing throughout this podcast, it's playing with the flight stick. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Is that a code word?
You never know. Jake, over here.
Hello.
Tell me about your opinions of flight sticks. What's your favorite flight stick? And your favorite flight stick manufacturer?
I have a Logitech 3D Pro, sitting around here somewhere.
Okay.
I used a Microsoft Sidewinder 3D Pro. It was made in like '96 for a long time. Back when computers had game port things on them, and audio cards were prevalent.
So I'll say this: the one I'm playing with is the Sidewinder Precision 2, and it was made in 2001. And I don't know, there's not a lot of games you can use this thing for anymore. Like, what's the game? I mean, I know they're putting out that new Microsoft Flight, but when's the last time you were like, man, I gotta break up my flight stick?
I've toyed with the idea of getting a HOTAS for Elite Dangerous in VR.
Yeah.
But I would have to I would have to figure out some kind of weird mounting solution for my chair because I have to push back to where my tracking area is because I can't mount it to my desk because my sensors are like here and then here. So like I'm outside of the square if I sit here.
Right.
Yeah.
Get one of those, like, you know how people eat food in their bed? Those like
Like
nap
a TV
trays?
tray. Yeah.
Get
I don't
like
know
a
how
TV
stable
tray
that
thing.
would be though is the thing.
Yeah. Then just 3D print clips to your chair. Custom design some clippy things to your chair rails.
I've been doing Fusion 360 tutorials and it's blowing my fucking mind.
Yeah.
Going from Tinkercad
360 is
to
good.
Fusion 360, like all the super easy shit to do that is like you have to go about it so backwards in Tinkercad to do like anything complex.
Mm-hmm.
360 is really good and it's free for like hobby people.
Yeah, you have to renew your license every year, but it's free for personal use, which is pretty awesome. I think you get like unlimited cloud credits too, right? For like your process, like whatever you do, like their processing thing or some shit that they do.
There's a weird thing. I think you actually have to buy those.
But they're like
I think
cheaper or something. Yeah.
The logic is like I think you have to buy those. Can use your computer to process it for free.
Sure. Okay. I have no idea what you're talking about.
3D modeling software.
Mary, do you
For
have any idea
basically
what
making
you're
stuff to
talking
3D print.
I don't know about the cloud stuff, but everything else makes sense. Like Tinkercad, I assume that's some hobbyist version of AutoCAD.
It's
that's
like it's
about
like
all I know. I don't
it's
know.
a web-based thing and it's like Duplo to Lego, basically. It's super basic. It's for like kids, basically. But that's what I started using just to make real basic shit. Just because it makes sense.
Yeah.
All the stuff's real easy to learn how to use.
Can you make me a case for a Mister?
I can just go on Thingiverse and just download one.
Yeah.
There's probably
Okay.
tons of them.
That too.
Okay, that's fair.
Like I wish I went on Thingiverse before I built this.
It's a little tiny screen.
Yeah, I pulled this display out of a LCD photo frame that I bought from Goodwill for like $10 like 4 years ago.
Shit.
And it's just been sitting in my garage.
Wow.
And I bought the driver board, like says, got HDMI, DVI, and VGA. Because you can just go on eBay, you punch the model number of the screen into eBay. And it's like, hey, we got this board that's flashed to use that, and it's got the cable and everything, and they're all the same board, basically.
Oh, wow.
It's got controls and shit here. But everything except for the stand I had to design. There's a whole bunch of 10-inch display things on Thingiverse, but there's no 12-inch display stuff, so I kind of had to make this myself.
Okay.
It's very fancy. It looks like something you bought, not something you made.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Except for like the exposed PCB and like the cable and stuff on the back, but
Sure. Okay. I might ask you to make a case for me then, since I'm getting a Mister. So
okay.
We'll let you know.
Are you really?
I can just I can print you one and just ship it to you. It'd be super cheap to ship it because it's lightweight.
Sure. I have to figure out what I want. But yes, I am getting a Mister. It's gonna be in a few weeks. But excited. Things looks really cool, at least to me. Like, and plus, I don't have a lot of the older consoles, so it'll be good to have like Ataris and stuff like that, and those kind of games accessible. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I would
have
actually
all the
probably
hardware. So.
Yeah, exactly.
And they just released the Neo Geo course, so I get to play Neo Geo.
I'm not gonna own a Neo Geo though, because that shit's still hundreds of dollars. So
Yes.
that would be worth it.
Sure.
Explain a Mister to me. Is it like a baseboard, like a Raspberry Pi equivalent with a bunch of expansion slots?
Sort
and then
of.
you jam expansions in?
So you know how like the analog and the analog NT and those things are like FPGA based emulation where they basically just mimic the hardware. I think it's that, but it mimics a whole bunch of different consoles. You can stack boards and shit on it.
But that's what you still need like the expansion board to mimic that.
Yes.
It doesn't technically come in via base. Okay.
I think so. I haven't done
You
a whole
buy
lot of
cores. Yeah.
yeah.
That's all I know so far. I just got into it, and so far it's you buy a Mister, you got your little, heck you call it, USB flash card kind of thing that you can pop in, and then you buy cores that give you the ability to, I assume, replicate the system specs. So, as I mentioned, the Neo Geo core just came out, I think, 2 weeks ago. You can look on the Reddit for Mister, and it'll show you.
So
Actually,
my
it's
question
FPG
is,
Day.
why not just get a Raspberry Pi? Because
I
like the
think
Mister is like enthusiast level shit. And if you just want to play
Yes.
retro
Yeah.
games, it's like, why not just get a Raspberry Pi and put RetroArch on it? RetroArch.
I mean,
Arc.
I think for me,
think
I
it's
like
Arch.
I think I like the enthusiast level of it and like that sort of end of it more. Like, I'm not much of a tinkerer, but having something I can kind of mess around with and do some funky stuff with more appeals to me than like following a Raspberry Pi guide and making a little retro console. Like that's not, you know, I could just go out and probably find an Atari or something like that just as easy. But I would rather, dig in, learn a little bit about, how does this work? How does it all work? How does it all fit together? And then just and plus it's kind of the hot thing right now, so there's a really neat community around it. So I think that's a positive plus too.
I think I might
Being in
do
the
RetroArch
zeitgeist.
stuff this afternoon with this Raspberry Pi Zero that I've had just sitting around.
Sure.
Finally
Messing
bought some.
around.
I was out of micro SD cards. Like they're all just being in use between like all these random secondhand phones I've gotten for just stuff. And like my printer is using one for the Raspberry Pi that runs that. And
There's a cat.
Sorry, I'm distracted. Fucking
No,
cat climbing all over the desk.
No, that's fine. I just think, like I think there's a lot of comparisons between like the Raspberry Pi and the Mister right now. For me, it's just, like I just like the idea of this like you buy this thing and you could kind of keep slotting things onto. Oh, Mary, I can't hear you.
Oh, you just keep buying more things and more things as well.
Yep.
Sorry. Yeah, it's that part doesn't appeal to me because I already spend too much money on flashcards.
Sure.
So,
But I'm only buying like 3 of them, right? Like I'm not going to be getting a Nintendo one or anything like that because I already have like a Super Nintendo and stuff like that. But really, for me, it's like the old Ataris, some of the old computers that I didn't get a chance to experience. Like that's more appealing to me. And yeah, you're spending probably a little bit more money on the Mister, but just neat. I don't know. Play around.
you're
with.
going to be really disappointed when you load up a lot of these Atari games, though. They're not
Very
I
basic.
don't know.
I can't
You'll
wait to play the
them for,
first
like,
video
5
game,
minutes.
Space Wars. It's gonna be great. Space Wars,
That would
2019,
be kind of
best
cool.
game.
like honestly, what I think you should do is start with like a Raspberry Pi 3 and see if it's even like worth it or if you play the games a lot. Because I know a Mister is pretty expensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like compared
the
to
$100.
it, yeah. See, like
Yeah,
a
to a
Raspberry Pi 3 is
Raspberry Pi.
like
Yes.
25, $30. And then a micro, like a
Sure.
64 gig micro SD card is like $20. If that, they're super cheap.
Yeah, I'll have to see. Like I'm still kind of chewing on the idea. That's what I thought. But
And then you don't have to fuck
to.
around with like getting
have
your
a
video
cart
output
ready.
to work and like all your shit just
Right.
fucking works out of the box. And like the emulators are pretty accurate. They're not like completely accurate like the Mister, but like I said earlier, the Mister's kind of an enthusiast level thing, and I'm sure it's going to require a lot of tinkering and fucking with stuff.
My last question is, does the Mister allow you to have the expansion ports? Do they have like cart slots on it?
Well, that's
Like,
a good question. I don't think so.
That is, I
Hey,
don't.
you get the NES expansion and it has like a NES port on it. Like, is that a thing? Because that's the one benefit I guess you'd have with that over the Pi or other more generic emulators.
Like I know the analog systems do have
So
card
here's
slots, but I don't know about the Mister. I think it just uses SD cards, but
here's a good GitHub article on the Mister that you can see, kind of the basic Mister there that might explain or answer some of your questions. There's a little bit more information there too. I mean, really, it's just a little computer, right? Like at the end of the day, it's just like, here's this bite-sized thing that you can slot in a bunch of different things into it. I can't answer specifics, but maybe that's the reason I should get a Mister. Is I don't know a lot about this stuff, and it would be a learning experience of like, here's a tiny computer, you know.
I looked for Mr. NES cart, and I'm not seeing like anything. I'm doing an image search because you'd expect like some articles like, hey, you can use carts with your Mister. It would have a picture of it.
Yeah.
But nothing.
I'm also not seeing anything.
yeah,
And
I
I
don't think
googled
so.
Atari Core. Yeah, because I saw something this week. I don't know what it's called again, but it's like the Micro or something, and it's a really tiny like GBA pocket thing, and like it actually has the cart slots in it.
We should talk about that later during the news. The Analog's new pocket thing.
It's called Analog. Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
I also linked the
because that thing's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, the Pocket was something I saw a few days ago, and we don't have to talk about it at news, but we can talk about it now since we're kind of on the subject. That's a neat looking little thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. Yeah, it's cool, especially if you have the games.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I mean, I like the idea of it, but I already have
the
Game Boy.
The HDMI output that you get when you also purchase the dock.
That dock thing's pretty awesome.
But I wish I could just like buy the dock and have it work with the systems I already have or something, because I'm cheap. Yeah, so
For me, that's always the ideal. Is when I'm collecting games, I'd rather collect the games and then put it into a thing that can run it rather than buying a specific, I don't know. Rather than a Raspberry Pi or even a Mister, I would rather use go to a yard sale, pick up some carts, and then just plug it into a thing that works. You know,
like a Retron 5, but for handheld games, like a little tiny thing that has a whole bunch of different ports on it. Yeah. Even though that's not an FPGA thing.
Yeah. But no. I wonder if you could do that, since like a Mister like emulates on the software side. I wonder if you could just like
I think the Mister is FPGA based. It's a hardware emulation.
Yeah, hardware. Since it emulates the hardware, I wonder if you could just make a port that you could just stick an old Atari into. There's a cat behind Mary, and that's really cool.
I mean, at that point, it would just dump the ROM into memory from the cart and just play it like that.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't see the use.
I know.
I mean, you could probably buy something that hooks up to a computer and you can dump the ROMs off of a cart that way if you want to do that.
I don't know if I want to
put them on an SD card and then run them on the Mister.
I don't know if I want to dump it off a cart though. You know, like I would rather keep it on the cart, like have it on its own, like use the cart as a physical thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would do that.
I mean, that's what
the Mister would do if it had that capability. Is it would just be running. I mean, that's basically what an NES does, anyways, right? It just loads it into memory or something. I guess. No, probably not.
I just like the idea of going to like yard sales and picking up old freaking cartridges and using them in some way rather than, I was recently downstairs where I found my flight stick and like looking at all these old Game Boy games, Super Nintendo games I have sitting down there in a box and going, I wish I could use these without having to like drudge up the one thing. And I don't know.
I mean, if you have a GameCube, the Game Boy player for that is still pretty awesome. And it's a nice way to play stuff on your TV if you can do that. Like, that's what I typically do.
Sure. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, anything retro stuff is default a pain in the ass. Like, you're not going to
Yeah,
it's always going to suck in one way.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why I'm saying Raspberry Pi is probably a good place to start.
Yeah,
and to see if you like stick with it and you actually do play a lot of the stuff like regularly.
And let's be real, the Analog Pocket dock is probably going to be too expensive of a kit to justify that whole system, just so you can start playing some card games on whatever HDMI slot.
And then with that, you also have to buy, like, if you want to play Neo Geo Pocket hardware, you got to buy another cart reader. And it just gets very expensive very quickly, to where you may as well just be buying original hardware at that point, and like a FrameMeister or something.
Yeah. Does FrameMeister cover most sources to HDMI?
I think I think you can get like VGA output boards as well, so you can output like crazy old resolutions out to like a CRT monitor or something.
Yeah, I haven't looked it up because it's still too expensive, and my TVs are fine. Like, I have an old CRT that I hook stuff up to, so I don't really care about HDMI. And if I really, really want to hook an old system up to HDMI, I have this really shitty, like, $10 Chinese Amazon box, converter box, that I got for streaming stuff out when I feel like it, but which has not been lately. So there you go. Like, I haven't bothered to spend money for like a fancy output solution.
Yeah. I think that's the big problem, is any kind of retro thing at this point. You're going to be spending $15, like $50 just to get going, until and then like it seems like every time you want something, you spend another 50. I just like the idea of having a little thing I can toy around with, and I don't know. Maybe I won't go Mister. Maybe I'll go Raspberry Pi. But everything's sitting in the cart. It's all ready. I'm like, all right, let's buy this. We'll see.
I changed the server.
Oh, okay. I was like, speaking of,
I was waiting for someone to like stop talking, or say that and keep talking.
Okay. I'll keep talking. And then we're gonna stop talking.
Just got
now,
shaft.
Yeah, Albie's audio just kind of went.
Hello, it's me.
Stop talking. Hold on. Now try.
Hello, it's me. Am I okay?
Nope.
No, still not. You janked me up, my friend. You done janked me.
We're having a problem for the audio listener with the Discord video call. It's been doing this for months.
Still not doing.
When I start this,
no audio. Sorry.
You've done it. You've done it now, my boy.
No one talk. Okay, everyone's loaded in. Yeah.
Are we good?
I was loaded in.
Okay. Are we good? Hello?
No, your audio just janked. I don't know how that happened, but your audio just shat the bed.
What should I do about this? Oh, come on. Hold on. Let's give it a second. It sounds like
it's coming from a webcam or something now.
Yeah, like your device changed or something.
Oh, that could have been it.
Could have changed my
I don't know why changing the server region would do that.
Right.
Hello?
I don't know either. Oh, there we go. That's better.
It did change it.
Jesus.
Wow.
Oh my God. Wow.
Discord is worse than my cat.
A wonderland. A wonderland. Speaking of wonderlands, I have a hot thing to talk about today. Settle in, folks. Time to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3. How's everybody doing? Remember your friends, Sora, Donald, and Goofy? They're back again. I don't know where to begin with this game.
Whack.
You want me to do like a... They're back. The boys are back in town again, and they're here to sit and sip a while. That's what they're here to do. Well, I'll say this much. I know no one's going to engage with me on this subject, but I'm playing it, and I am half hating some of it. The dialogue is, I mean, it's better than Kingdom Hearts like 1 and 2, but it's still like terribly written at times where it's like, I believe in my friends and the heart of hearts. Our friends will never disappear as long as they're in our hearts.
It's worse than anime.
it's terrible. Do you want a summary? I thought I was able to come up with a pretty decent summary of what's going on in Kingdom Hearts 3. You want some spoilers for the entire Kingdom Hearts series?
I don't care. Yeah, as long as it's told in like less than 5 minutes. Okay.
Yes.
Here, get a timer. Somebody time me. Here we go. We're gonna tell you the entire story of Kingdom Hearts up to Kingdom Hearts 3. All right, here we go. Hit me with that timer. Let me know when. Okay, we're going. All right, so once upon a time, there's an evil man named Xehanort.
I already hate this.
He wanted to make the X blade, but it's not actually X. It's the Greek letter Chi, C-H-I. It's the Greek letter for that. But it got broken. But it got broken into 11 dark pieces and 8 light pieces. And so his plan to put the blade back together was, hey, I'm gonna split myself into 2 different people, and they'll go out there and capture all the queens of heart, all the princesses of heart for the 8 light pieces. And then I will also make a bunch of people, an organization of people without hearts that I can infect and turn into the 11 evil pieces. See, look at this. And that's the story of Kingdom Hearts up until now.
Why can't they have a heart?
Because it's easier for Xehanort to possess them when they don't have a heart. He can put his heart into other people. That's what calling Norded is. It's when you get Xehanort in you. And so yeah, that's kind of what's going on. He's trying to do that. Things fall apart. Sora shows up and is like, hey, I got this Keyblade. I'm going to free all the princesses of heart, but then also lose my memory. And that's Chain of Memories. And then just keeps going. Just keeps twisting anime twists for like 40 years. And so Kingdom Hearts 3 is, hey, he's still trying to do the bad thing. He's trying to get 11 evil people. So we got to put together a team of some old friends like Riku and Mickey, and then also some new people from games that I have not played. So that's where we're at. How did that feel? Feel good? I watched like 3 hours worth of videos to explain all that. So, Go ahead, Mary. Questions?
So what happens in this third game exactly?
So the opening of the game is
you
very
got 2
confusing.
Minutes left, basically.
Okay.
By the way.
Okay, Kingdom Hearts 3 opens. Sora, the evil guy Xehanort couldn't get 11 people. He only got 10, so he decided, hey, Sora's pretty good. He's a good guy. What if I turn him evil? I'm gonna Nort Sora. During his mastery exam, like in all good anime, there is an exam portion of this thing. So he tries to do that. Sora fails his mastery exam because he let Xehanort Nort him. And somewhere along the way, Sora
let him do that?
It's consensual. Hard to tell. It's consensual Norting. And non-consensual. And I don't think it was consensual, but I didn't play that, called Dream Drop Distance. It's another game.
Okay.
Anyway, this game opens with him having failed his mastery exam and also lost all of his powers because we needed to make a third game and he needed to lose all his skills. So now Sora has no skills. He doesn't know how to do anything. He's a baby.
I'll say.
In the Kingdom Hearts world. Doesn't know how to do anything. And the evil guys are getting closer to completing their master plan. So Sora has to go out there and figure out how to put the team back together. How to wake people up. And, figure out where all the old Keyblade masters are and stuff like that. And try to figure out Aqua and, I don't know, there's characters that I don't have much connection to, having not played that one game. So, yeah. Gotta put the team together to fight the evil guys with their level of evil hearts.
The story for this game sounds very boring.
It is a little boring. The dialogue's not amazingly great. But at the same time, I think the things that I like about the game, like there's moments where I go like, why am I playing this game? And then there's moments where I'm like, this is really neat. Like they made a lot of touches. Like they really tried with this game. Like you can cook food. You can pick up porcini mushrooms in like chests and then go to the Ratatouille rat from the movie Ratatouille and have him cook dishes for you, which involve cooking mini games, much like Cooking Mama, but it's Sora with a rat on his head instead. Like there are little touches, and I think the animation stuff they do, particularly Toy Story early on, is like really good. Was that it?
Yeah, time is over.
Time? Did I explain though? I explained the story in that amount of time, please.
You did good.
You said some stuff. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know how much I understand anything going on still.
Light. That's all you need to know. Also, hearts aren't hearts. They're souls. They just call them hearts because it's Kingdom Hearts. Souls. Also, Sora has everybody in him all the time. Multiple souls are inside of Sora throughout this game.
Oh.
Multiple people. Kairi in the first game falls into Sora's heart. It's a real mess of people being inside other people, and it's implied like it's all anyway.
Yeah, body horror.
Yeah, a little bit.
So you beat it, or
we are approaching it.
Okay.
Being it, jeez, what?
We're very close to the end. So I restarted because I have no idea who Aqua and stuff was. Like I was like, who are these people? Like I didn't play this game. I played 1, Chain of Memories, 2, 365 Days over 2.
Is that the PSP one?
It's like it's 3. It's
Is that how you call 2.85?
It's yeah.
You play 2.9 HD Turbo Remix.
So the funny thing is, they actually make fun of that. Like they have a moment in the beginning of this game where they make fun of it. Like the opening title sequence is Kingdom Hearts 2.9, and it's like implying that they know how stupid their naming convention is, which just blows my mind. Like I don't understand.
I don't think they're being self-aware when they do shit like that. I think they're fully up their own butt when they're doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like
Nomura
a joke.
would. True.
Yeah.
But then Kingdom Hearts 3 happens after. It's cool. I thought it was self-aware of like, wait. But then again, who knows? Nomura is insane. So it's like,
yeah,
he might be out of his mind.
I think it's a mix of self-aware and also we can do this because you guys will fucking eat this shit up.
But like the things I like about the game, like I like, the Disney stuff is not really the focus, of the story and stuff like that. Like the Disney stuff is set dressing. Let's model some enemies for this
occasionally.
Yeah. But this game, there's some neat moments of like. So one of the first areas you visit is Mount Olympus with Hercules from the Hercules movie, and you're fighting a Titan. And one of the things that happens is you get on like a roller coaster ride and ride around a Titan, shooting him with like missiles and stuff. Like it was like a neat little like, oh, okay, so they like can make interesting gameplay around this stuff. That's not just mashing X all the time. And I think the gameplay is fun, and then they also have like nice little touches on like art style, and of course they do a really good job with just sound effects and stuff like that, and the musical score is pretty good.
How many like musical numbers with Sora singing are in this
0.
game? Really?
Sora
wow.
never
That's
sings.
what I remember from the old games.
Never sings. You think Sora sings in the old games? I don't remember him singing ever.
I'm pretty sure. I remember like the
a Little Mermaid
area.
section.
Yeah.
Chubb played the tub, right? I remember that.
Oh, he sings Chubb played the tub.
No, he sings the song Under the Sea, like a variation of it.
He does. Great.
I don't know. I know people are gonna make fun of Kingdom Hearts a lot, but don't think it's entirely earned this time around. Like, I think you play this game and it's really something to look at. It's very well animated. Like, there's a lot of like really good little touches gameplay wise, and in terms of just like the visual aesthetic that I think holds it enough so you can shake off some of the really bad writing at times. I don't know, the actual like story of him just like, I gotta get good again and wake people up to get them on my team and like put together the team like a Mass Effect. Like, we gotta get together a crew of people. Like, it's a basic story
plot. Yeah.
But sometimes in a game like this where there's so much shit around it that it like having a really simple like through line plot, like, I think sort of works for me. Like, that's more interesting.
Isn't the plot of Kingdom Hearts like very convoluted? Like, there's a lot of shit going on.
A lot of shit going on.
So is there still a lot of shit going on while it has this boring basic plot? Well, I guess that depends on how it ends, and you're not there yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean,
but yeah, it seems kind of like a throwaway thing. Like, if it's a basic plot and not much character stuff happens.
There is character stuff happening, I think, but it's much more like in terms of what you're playing, like in terms of what like each world happens and like kind of the basic like structure of it. Like, it's somewhat simple. Like, if you approach it from that angle of like, oh, this is just like, let's put together a team, I think that works better than, I don't know, engaging with the overall mess that is the larger story of Kingdom Hearts. But also, if you like, Final Fantasy, those are messy plots too.
Yeah, but they're self-contained. They don't come up with weird stuff to drag it out. I don't know.
It's just, I mean, the thing you gotta know is that a mobile game is one of the most important stories for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep.
A game that nobody played.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not
even me.
Not even me. Fucking cross oh my god, Kingdom Hearts cross whatever is a fucking nightmare.
No, it's that Greek letter again.
It's chi, yeah.
Chai.
I think it's pronounced key, actually.
Blade.
Keyblade.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Keyblade, get it? But then there's also Keyblade. There's a Keyblade, and then there's the Keyblade.
I hate Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. You should probably hate Kingdom Hearts. But also, it's not that bad. You can have fun with it. If you're in it for the Disney stuff, I think you can have fun with it.
I'm going to go full Jacob's Ladder with the amount of head shaking I'm doing. Like, no.
Isn't there a season pass or some DLC shit got announced, right?
Yeah.
When's that coming out? Are you getting that?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna get that. Yeah. It's I'm in it this far.
Like
all the games also. Yes.
Game? So isn't it like included?
Might be. I would have to look at that.
You just assume
you bought the Kingdom Hearts 3 season pass?
I don't know if I did that. I pre-ordered the game. I don't know if I got the collector's edition or whatever the one is.
The edition. Maybe you didn't.
That's a good question. It's a good question. Also, Gummy Ship. It's actually pretty good. It's like an open world. You fly around in a little gummy ship. You shoot things. It's pretty good. I like the Gummy Ship missions a lot. It's like an open world thing in a Kingdom Hearts game, which is weird. Strange, even. So yeah, Kingdom Hearts. Pretty good. I like it. I know you guys, it's hard to argue Kingdom Hearts if people haven't played Kingdom Hearts, so I like it. It's pretty good. Also, I'm getting it done, so nobody can make fun of me anymore. It's true. First one, worst one. That's not true. It's not true. The worst one is 358 Days Over 2. Because they killed that and made a movie out of it. Like,
what is that?
It was a game. It was a game at one point, and then the game was so bad that in the collector's edition, they just pulled all the cutscenes out and made a movie. So you didn't have to play that game. It's true. That really happened. You should look that up.
Apparently, it came out for the for the DS, not 3DS, DS.
Okay.
Yep. They remaster all the cutscenes too, which is nice for that. But anyway, Kingdom Hearts. I will report when I finish that game. Again, you can look forward to that. Now no one can make fun of me. I'm playing and finishing Kingdom Hearts, probably in the next week.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Before we go, explain 358 over 2.
Do you want to what do you want to explain about it? The title or
why?
The story?
Why?
So that's like an improper fraction. Like you should reduce that. It's not. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Can you reduce that?
It ends in an 8, so over to 2. That doesn't. Yeah, that's just a division problem right there.
For some reason, I thought it ended in 5. I wasn't paying attention. I was like, no.
Can't it just be called Kingdom Hearts 179?
Exactly.
Yes, I had to Google that.
Well, very well done.
Let me explain why 358 over 2 is called 358 over 2. There
really
are 2 people.
Fucked up time signature is what that is. Shout out to all my music nerds out there.
So there are 2 characters, Roxas, which is Sora's nobody, and oh my god,
what's that mean? What's a nobody?
A nobody is what happens when you don't have a heart. It's the body, and the soul is the heart. So it's a body without a soul.
How does that happen?
You become heartless. In Sora's case, he stabbed himself with a Keyblade. In Kingdom Hearts 1, Mary, remember that?
No.
Keyblade.
Because he had to get Kyrie's heart, who I mentioned, fell into him. He had to get her out. So he stabbed himself with a Keyblade, pulling his heart out of his body. And her heart also.
Okay, never mind. I don't want to know anything else about Kingdom Hearts. I'm just
Go ahead. Say something.
The official Nintendo magazine gave the game a mediocre score of 69%.
The official Nintendo magazine was like, nah, this sucks.
Nah, I wouldn't play this. This one I would miss. So it was the 2 characters in 358 Days Over 2.
No, I don't care. It's fine.
They were unconscious for most of the time, so it was a year worth of time. It was a year worth of time.
That's a 365 days.
Well, it's 358, which is the total length of the game. They were both unconscious. There are 2 characters in the game. That's why they're split between both. Anyway. Don't worry about it.
Like a Persona, and you play through the 358 days on a calendar.
There is a calendar in that movie. I haven't played that game. I only have the movie. Thank you.
I doubt you play every single day. It's probably just like 2 weeks later, blah, blah, blah.
Cutscene.
Yeah.
Like every cutscene, like 2 months later.
What happened to the other 7 days?
That's a good question.
You watched the movie. What happened?
Man, too much. I'll tell you that honestly. I fucking have no idea.
They take a vacation to a hot springs, and that's what they'll make another game about. Yeah, because it's terrible anime. Yeah.
Yep. The other 7 days, mature only game.
Did you want to hang out with
slide puzzle?
People falling into other people all over the place.
I mean, at one point, I believe Sora had 5 people in him at one point, I believe, of like different people's souls inside of one person.
That's talent.
It was something really special. Like it was, what a weird thing. What a weird thing that, like, can you imagine like explaining that to a Disney executive to get them to write that, get them to okay the 3rd game? So we're gonna make this 3rd game. Fucking in Disney headquarters, having to pitch them on Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, what the fuck do you say?
Also, Albie, you're a bad Kingdom Hearts fan
Yep.
because Rapid in chat said like the other 7 days are in Kingdom Hearts 2, the Twilight Town thingy.
Right,
like
yeah.
That sequence.
That's
okay.
true. Yeah, it is in Twilight Town. Where your good friend and mine, Roxas, hangs out, who is the nobody for Sora. Are you excited about him?
No. I'm excited about no one in Kingdom Hearts. Well, actually, I'm excited for the Final Fantasy characters, which they dropped in Kingdom Hearts 3 altogether. So, fuck it.
But they make a lot of like Final Fantasy references, like in the Toy Story world. It's like a mech shooter, but it's a mech shooter with people that look like they're out of Final Fantasy games, but they aren't. It's really weird. The Toy Story world is a mech game. Just want to let you know that. Just think about that. Toy Story is a mech game. Just running around with mechs. It's like, what the fuck? Anyway.
Might be better.
What else did I play? Mary, you and I played another game from my childhood. Well, not from my childhood, but a part of my childhood. Digimon Re-Arise. Mary, we've been putting too much time into this game. What's going on? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, it's fun. Because it's actually fun.
Yeah.
I think this is a new Digimon phone game, Re-Arise. It came out like a couple weeks ago, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like 2 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm actually having fun. Like, it's very grindy. A lot of your time is spent searching for like workout materials, so your Angemon can like run the
Get
fucking
ripped.
Yeah, exactly. Lift weights and stuff, and then he gets better stat wise. And then you try and get as much money as you can because that's a big time sink in the game. You need a lot of money to do
You do
anything.
need a lot of money.
You need stamina. You could, I guess, use real world money, but I'm never going to do that. I mean, it's fun, but I don't want to spend money on this Digimon game. But it's so cute. Like, you have a little overworld. You can buy decorations, and your Digimon will interact with the decorations. Like, I have this gold Moai statue in my town.
Oh,
Cool. Yeah, there's like a porta potty, and you can
Yep.
see the Digimon like taking a
Whizzing.
shit,
Yep.
basically.
It's great. It's a classic part of Digimon.
It is.
They use the like in all the Digimon games.
Digimon poop.
It's real, man. You know, Pokemon out here not pooping. Digimon pooping.
And like they even include some of like the old Tamagotchi style, like old Digimon stuff. Like there's a built-in pedometer as you're walking
I use that a
around. It'll
lot.
find items and stuff too. My Angemon, my Agna Angemon is saying, "Oh my, I can hear the angels singing" while he's walking around. I took a screenshot earlier where he was asking me to pray with him, and I was like, okay, slow down. Like, Digimon, I remember like in the 90s, weird churches saying like Pokemon was Satanist and all this other stuff. Like Digimon is the real Satanist shit.
The real let's praise the devil, everyone.
My fucking noble Pumpkinmon, he's evil as hell. I got this Wisemon guy who's like very into
as a
occult
wizard.
shit.
Yeah, one of those. Like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm just having fun with like all of the Tamagotchi type elements. Like it's a much better game than that fucking Pokemon phone game that came out recently, Pokemon Masters. Like it's definitely grindy like that game, but there is an actual rewarding sense of progression to it. They aren't
fair too,
stingy.
I feel like.
Yeah,
like you know, like as someone that doesn't like, I haven't spent any money on it, it's just like you play through some missions, you can get 10 rolls or 5 rolls, whatever you want to call them, and like you never feel like you're being
11.
cheated or not getting 11 rolls. You never feel like you're getting cheated out of stuff. Like it feels like, you know, they have like 12 different login bonus screens where you get like kind of hundreds of them. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, that's partly because the game is new. Like that stuff will dry up as it goes on. But there is a fun asymmetric like multiplayer battle thing, the clash battles.
Yep.
Those don't take up any stamina to do. You do have to do a lot of them to get evolution materials, so you can digivolve into ultimate. Yeah,
Warp digivolve, please.
You feed them food, you collect food. They have specific food that they like. Like there's a lot of Tamagotchi stuff in here, and that's what I really appreciate. And I don't know. I'm just having a lot of fun with it. I'm having fun.
Yep.
It's bad. I know. I'm like mid-30s and I'm playing Digimon.
No, I'm having quite a good time with it too. I mean, it's, you know, it don't take long to do a few missions, and I'm just like, I don't know, easy time sink. Also, Digimon eat like chicken and stuff. What's up with that? Think about that a little bit.
They eat cake. They eat all sorts of shit. They eat macadamia nuts, like whatever. You collect it.
If you digivolve them, are they stuck like that permanent? Can you like revert it?
No.
You wouldn't want to, because the whole thing is like you're progressing and getting more powerful and more powerful monsters. Well, that's the anime. That's not real Digimon. That's lies told to you by the cartoons. But yeah, you're basically just trying to get more fancier, more powerful, more crazy stuff so you can beat people in PvP. That's the real end game.
That's the real end game, is smashing people with Wargreymon all the time. It's great.
Yeah. PvP is kind of fun. It's again asymmetrical. Like it's not live PvP like that Review Starlight game. But it's fine, and the AI isn't super terrible from what I've seen. Like it uses heal spells appropriately, multi-target attacks, all that stuff. But yeah, I'm just super enjoying it. I've heard from other players that the previous Digimon phone game, Digimon Lynx, was hot garbage and also hacked to hell, like from Chinese players just playing with modified APKs. And this one is not hacked to hell, and they actually, the people running it, Bandai Namco, I guess, said like, hey, we are going to monitor this stuff. If we notice you using a modified APK, you're going to get banned, and people have been banned. So it's pretty good. But yeah, it's just enjoyable. Like I'm having a fun time with it. Like it's way better than the other phone game we're going to talk about later on.
That's true. As somebody that's
sorry, they have a Halloween event starting on Tuesday, so I'm super psyched about that. I love Halloween bullshit.
Very excited. I'm also picking up those Digimon games that just came to PC, so I'm all in on Digimon. Cyber Sleuths,
the PS4 ones.
Yeah, they just came to PC and Switch.
Yeah, as a double pack. Yeah, I want to get that, but
what's number 2? Is number 2 better, or is it like just an advancement of 1? Like they just used 1 stuff.
I hear the story of number 2 is better. I think it's just the same events, but from a different perspective. But I hear that number 2 is everyone seems to like that game a lot more, at least from like anecdotally, from what I've heard. From like Reddit and stuff like that. Like the Digimon Reddit liked it more. So take that as you will.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about Digimon Survive, where people die in Digimon.
That game got delayed, didn't it?
It did. Very upset about that. But anyway, we'll move on from
I got a baby growing. It's in the incubator. Like I love all the Tamagotchi bullshit in this game that still exists in it. Like it's a pretty good representation of Digimon, like old Digimon.
It's cool. Mary, tell me about your time at Portia.
Portia.
What's going on with your time at Portia?
Oh, it's not Portia. It's Portia. There's some poor voice acting that tells you how exactly to pronounce it. Eventually, those voice actors got paid. Like, this is a game that I started playing on Xbox Game Pass.
What?
Yeah, it's a farming sim that.
Oh no.
Well, I don't know. It's actually more of a crafting, like MMO, really, but single player. It gave me big MMO vibes. Like,
okay,
yeah, it's weird. It has like the little menu bar at the bottom. The combat kind of reminded me of bad MMOs. Like, there's just a bunch of like dudes hanging out near your farm. Except it runs really super poorly. It crashed like multiple times on my computer. It runs very terribly. Like, anytime you enter and exit out of an area, it basically hangs there for like 30 seconds, no loading screen or anything. It just like goes to a black screen. I did not enjoy this game. I'm glad I played it on Game Pass because that way I wasn't paying anything extra, but yeah, the character designs are super ugly too, in my opinion. Like, I don't know.
Okay. Didn't like it. I mean, that's so.
It had some interesting systems for like a farm sim game. Like, it actually rewards you for decorating your house. Like, you get more stamina throughout the day depending on the furniture you put in there. Like, it's kind of a weird idea, but it actually worked pretty well. That was like the only thing in the game that I actually liked. But you spend so much time, like, anytime you want to craft anything, it's on a timer. And that just really bothered me. Like, it was not fun. Like, the mining stuff was kind of interesting. It's kind of Minecrafty. You have a jetpack, so you don't get stuck anywhere. You can also teleport back to the base. Like, that kind of stuff was okay, but I didn't end up spending too much time with it because it just ran like garbage and it was also ugly. I wanted to get into a farm game and I wanted to not pay any money. Yeah. But I ended up spending money by the end.
On this game?
Not this game. Not this game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could not get into it. Like, good for you if you enjoy it, but no.
But you must have spent money in this other game then, Mary.
Yeah, eventually.
Sales. Stranded Sails. Explorers of the Curse Islands.
Yeah. This game is actually available on Apple Arcade. And I wish I had realized that before I spent $20 on it.
Oh my God, Mary.
I mean, this game is longer, so in the end, like, I think the $20 will be fine. And I kind of like supporting the developer because I actually did play like a 6-hour free demo, like a demo prologue of this game as well, which they have available on their website, which I think is really cool. This game is, I saw like the trailers and the farming and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, this actually seems more like what I would be into. The graphic style is a lot cleaner. It has like kind of like a simplified, like, I want to say almost like Final Fantasy. The characters look kind of like the characters in Final Fantasy VII, like kind of a low poly thing, but not as ugly, and they have textures. Like, it's not. It's a kind of neat looking game. This game I would describe more as like a survival game. Like, does anybody remember the Lost in Blue games that came out on DS?
Lost in Blue rings a bell for me.
Yeah. You get stuck on like a desert island and you basically have to do stuff to survive.
Yes, I do know that game. Okay.
It actually plays a lot like that. It's not as depressing and weird as Lost in Blue, though, because you actually have like a full ship crew with you when you get stuck on the deserted island. So it's not really that deserted. You don't have like a blind girl that you step on her glasses that you're trying to take care of. Like, Lost in Blue.
Where's Gilligan at, though?
Lost in Blue also had like No, there's no Gilligan. No.
Oh boy,
And there's
Gilligan?
no like cave full of super soldiers that you have to stealth around
Shit.
either, like in Lost and Blue.
Oh.
Thank God. But yeah, this
I don't remember that at all.
it's at the very end of the game. You probably didn't get there because that game is fucking hard. Yeah. Lost and Blue is weird. This game is a lot more simple and straightforward. It's basically just like a stamina management game. There's very simple farming, very simple cooking. All of that exists so you can just explore the islands around you better. Very simple combat. You just like mash A to hit skeleton ghosts. Like it's very simple, but what it's doing, I think, is still fun for me. I can see how some people wouldn't like it and would find it tedious because it is like a lot of just management, kind of like Death Stranding coming up. Like it's just a lot of preparation. You go out on an excursion.
Oh, sure.
You see how far you can go. Sometimes you don't get done what you want to get done. So you teleport back to camp and you go to bed and try and do everything better the next day.
Sort of run-based, like almost roguelike
Kind
Light,
of, but
maybe?
not really. Like there's no real character stats. It's more Legend of Zelda style where you're trying to get new abilities, like new blueprints. Like there are rope bridges that you can end up building, ladders. It's like a lot of crafting type stuff. Instant crafting, no timer bullshit, which is good.
Yeah.
And like it's a lot of cooking stuff to make your crew members happier. Like there's instead of like giving gifts like Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, you just cook stuff every day. You have like a big old stew pot on the island. People have favorite ingredients. If you put your favorite ingredients in there, they'll like you more and then like give you upgraded tools and stuff like that. Like it sounds complicated the way I'm talking about all the different systems at once, but compared to something like Stardew Valley or Lost and Blue, it's still fairly simple. I'm having a very, very fun time with it though. Like just the whole exploration thing, getting on your rowboat, eating this fancy food that has thyme in it so you can row further. Like yeah, like the herb or whatever. Yeah.
I picked up some thyme from Rapunzel's world in Kingdom Hearts 3, so I know all about thyme.
Okay.
It's true. I did. Then a mouse made it into like a souffle. It was great.
I cook no food. I mean, I'm not eating no food cooked by a rat. God.
But even Ratatouille rat? Come on now.
No,
Ratatouille rat knows what's good. Ratatouille rat knows what's good.
He cooked a thyme souffle. That's not something you'd want to eat.
Thyme souffle. Like he just, he put it together. Like can a rat cook some food in his house anymore?
No.
Judgy pieces of shit, ain't you? Mouse trying to make some food for you, and you're all stuck up. And
so anyway, yeah, the music in this game is not anything super special, but I'm enjoying it a lot. Like Stranded Sails, look it up. Look up Lemon Bomb Entertainment. If you look them up and look up this game, you can find a link to download the demo. Try that demo out. It's got all the gameplay systems. It's free. You can see if you like this shit or not. I'm liking it a lot so far. I'm having a good time. I think I'm like halfway through probably. You find, I guess spoilers, but you find this big ass pyramid on the island, and I'm doing stuff to unlock shit in the pyramid, and it's pretty fun.
It's turning into Assassin's Creed.
All right.
A little bit.
My
God. A little bit.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
A little bit. You find little lore segments scattered on all these islands.
I'm having fun. Destiny 2 Shadowkeep or what?
No, I haven't tried that yet. I need to load up some Destiny 2 eventually.
Give it a try some point. It's neat.
Right now, all my shitty shooter time is going to Overwatch because I'm getting the Halloween skins for I don't know why. I'm just playing it. I probably shouldn't, but whatever. I'm not going to spend money this year. I'm not gonna for several reasons. Yeah.
Several reasons. But no, I mean, I don't want to. This game looks neat. I don't want to like compare it to.
It's kind of cool.
It looks neat.
It looks a lot better than that the Tale of Portia or whatever it was.
Yeah,
indeed.
That game was. I wasted so much time trying to get into it, and it was bad. But yeah, like if you have Apple Arcade or download the demo, whatever, it's cool.
Do you think they like legitimately wanted to call it My Time at Portia, or do you think a voice actor fucked up for like most of their day and they just rolled with it?
I did notice in some of the voice acting, you know how like there's a civil defense corps in that game, like basically.
No, I don't know that.
Townspeople. Yes, yeah, that fight monsters. One of the voice actors called it a civil defense corpse because it was the abbreviation, and they didn't realize that's not how you pronounce it. And so, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was meant to be My Time at Portia. It's always
maybe
Portia.
I mean, I guess I could have played it with the Chinese voice acting, and that might have been better. Because it's a Chinese developed game also.
Yep.
I was hoping it would be good, but no. I've had some fun with some Harvest Moon clones before, and this was not. No.
Not one of those. Ugh. Well, have you played Tropico 1? Is it like Tropico 1?
That's like a city building type game, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah. So it's nothing like that.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm like so City Skylines, like Zoo Tycoon.
Yeah. Is it like Death Stranding? Is it a Strand game?
I mean, I think it might be the Stranded Sales game might be kind of like Death Stranding, but without all the online shit and babies in jars,
You don't know yet. You haven't gotten to the bottom of that pyramid, so
as weapon.
You might get to the bottom of that pyramid, and there might be some babies in jars. You don't know.
Possibly.
Well, speaking of islands, Jake, you played a game with an island this week.
I sure did.
And Yoko, he was expressing on this island. Tell me about expressing with Yoko.
Yoko?
No.
Yoko.
And he's not like expressing like a fluid from his body or whatever.
I mean,
that's the way he said. Okay.
He is a dung beetle.
You are taking over a mail carrier position, so it's like express, like mailing shit, like Federal Express.
Pinball-based
the
express
Island
system,
Express, maybe he might call it that.
That's a cool game. Like I didn't really look into it at all, and I was going through games on my Twitch launcher. I was like, I'm gonna play this because people say this is pretty good, and I went through the whole story. And I'm considering going back and playing more of it to do some of the unlockables, like the secret room or whatever the fuck that thing is.
The secret room. Oh, cool. How long did it take you? I know Mary mentioned it didn't take her that.
Shit, I don't know.
That long.
The Twitch launcher doesn't have a time played thing. So.
Took me a while. But I don't play games like for like 4-hour sessions.
Yeah, I played for like maybe an hour and a half every day, maybe an hour.
You're not pinball expert Mary. It's fine.
Pinball it was fun, and I don't know, it's fun.
I thought it was a pretty cool spin on like platforming, where it's not just like there's pinball sections, but then there's like other parts where it's like, hey, here's just a flipper just out here in the middle of wherever, and it'll just launch you up here, and then you can still move around and just go do other shit. And I also like that you don't have to be good at pinball to like enjoy that game, like the actual pinball parts of it. Because I'm not very good at pinball. And
maybe you would be surprised. I think this game does a good job at teaching you like basic pinball skills.
Maybe I'm better at pinball now and I just don't know it.
It's true. You've ascended. You're the next level now. You're level 2 at pinball.
Like the boss fights were cool because there's like no consequences to the boss fights. It's just like, hey, play pinball until this meter is down, and then you get to watch the cutscene.
Cool.
I was not expecting the twist in the story. Like, it genuinely surprised me.
There's a twist?
Yeah,
What's
at the
the-
end. I was like,
I
what?
already forget what that is.
Yeah.
Don't spoil me.
No, the twist is pretty good.
I guess I gotta play it. Everyone else on this podcast has
You
played this.
should. Yeah.
Yoku's Island
it's
Express
great.
is a really good game.
I remember that twist now.
It's very charming.
Yeah.
Very charming game. Soundtrack's good.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had the main menu
I don't know if
music
I've
stuck in my
asked you
head for a
guys.
couple days.
Do you think you could make a Yoku's Island Express 2? Like, is there
Sure.
not knowing the ending? You think
I mean,
they
you
do
could.
another one?
I mean, it wraps
Yeah, you
up-
could
it's-
always.
It's
I mean,
pretty
sure.
self-contained. It doesn't really leave anything open for like a sequel.
Maybe the secret
Yeah.
ending shit has more in there,
Oh,
but
okay.
you could you could do a new map. Like they could do new mechanics. I think they could do it.
You'd have to do a new map. A volcano occurs and like the whole map's changed. That does it, I guess.
Or it's just a different island or something. I don't
Sure.
know.
Someone kicks you accidentally and you float to a new island.
Okay. Oh, it's published by Team 17. Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Didn't know that. Well, cool. Yeah, that seems like a really neat game. Something that struck me when I was looking at your game list, you played a game that I feel like, knowing only a little bit about Yoku's Island, is somewhat similar, like tone-wise, an Untitled Goose Game. Like they're both kind of like this. You're a postman, but then you're also a goose in a small town. It feels like there's a connection there in my mind of small town.
The small town thing.
Yoku's
I can
Island
see,
is
but
pretty
you're
fucking
not-
big, actually.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not like a neighborhood. Like I felt like Yoku's Island, you were going around delivering mail to the village. And
I mean,
Untitled Goose
I
Game,
mean,
you're a
part of
goose
it.
in a village.
It's
You
not as-
unlock fast travel areas though in that game because
Yeah.
you need
Fast
it.
travel.
Yeah.
It's with quotes. Basically,
Call me crazy,
express
yeah.
lanes around the map.
It helps getting
does,
you
yeah,
from
yeah.
one place to another rather than traversing like the many different like pinball
Yeah,
things.
and I mean, it's still
Pinballing your way.
it's nice to have that and then be able to still do some platforming. It's like, oh, I need to get here, and the closest one of these things is here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go here and then just drop, and then I have to
Just
figure out
drop,
how to
yeah,
get
you
down.
can drop at any point.
At any
it's
of
not
them,
like
yeah.
going A to B directly. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So Untitled Goose Game. Am I insane?
That's just a,
Felt
a
like there was.
goofy, fun
connection.
game.
Are you a goose?
Yes.
What do you do? What is the goal? I've seen this game. I've seen people stealing things from a gardener, and in a small garden as a goose. What are you trying to do in this game? Like, what's the
You're
goal?
just being an asshole. Honestly,
Goose.
you're just a
Good,
goose,
neat.
and you're just being an asshole.
Gooses are generally assholes in real life, so I can see
You like a
that.
to-do list, and some of the things are pretty funny. It's like one of them is like get on TV, and you have to get a TV shop guy to get out of the TV shop because he blocks the door normally. And then you run in, you hit a switch, and then it turns on a camera inside the store, and then all the TVs that point outside, you're on it, and you just like, there you go.
Okay.
Or on the first level, one of the objectives is throw a rake in the lake. Okay.
Okay. Why is that goose throwing a rake in a lake?
Because he's an asshole.
Have you seen geese before? Like that's
have.
what they do.
I don't know if I've ever seen a goose throw a rake in a lake, though. Like, I've seen a goose honk before at people.
There's a dedicated honk button.
In a lake?
It's the very first thing that it tells you.
I'm surprised there isn't a bite button, because that's what I've seen a lot of geese do. Is just bite the shit out of people.
Has anybody else played it?
No. Want to. That looks like a neat game. Like, that seems like a Christmas Day game to me. Wake up in the morning, be an evil goose, eat some breakfast. Like, that seems like a... Is that weird? I think I'm weird today. I don't know.
Have you finished the game?
No.
Yeah, what's the end look like?
I'm only in like the third
zone.
Third zone, I think.
Is it a long game? Like,
not how many particularly, but there's
it can be if you have trouble with shit, I guess.
Because it's kind of a puzzle game, sort of. Like, there's some puzzle aspects to it. It's like, oh, I need to do this, and then do this with that, and avoid this person, and then time things. Yeah.
For example, I watched a speedrun, so I
saw that, yeah.
The end, and there's actually some pretty cool like speedrun stuff. It's not like it's glitchy, but it's not like super glitchy. It's pretty smart how they figured it out, I guess. And like seeing through that, there's actually quite a lot of zones, like way more than I expected to be in that game. So it's actually good. Way more justifies the price for it.
Okay. Other question. How do you feel about the goose being included in Resident Evil 2? How do you feel about that? The goose. I'll link the link in chat. It appears the goose from the Goose game is going to be in Resident Evil 2. How do you feel about that, though?
Well, it's a mod, but yes.
How would you not an official thing? That is a mod.
But also, how do you feel about it? Would you be scared of the goose? Human-sized goose, it appears.
No, it's that's why they modded it in, because it's funny and it's not scary. It's just a big goose.
I don't know.
It doesn't
kind of scary.
It's
I don't
like
like
a goose
at all.
Giant teeth and
scary.
red eyes.
I don't know.
Not goose. A zombie goose. It's just a goose.
A lot of goose. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay, cool. Yeah, that game looks really neat. I like the idea of playing around as a goose. I also like that we can use the word goose more regularly in sentences. So that's neat. Tell me, Jake, Cube 2.
Cube
2.
All right, we're done doing this gimmick. Game's called Cube 2, QUBE. It's a sequel to a game that came out in 2015. I know DJ played this a long time ago, if I recall correctly.
He did, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, it's Portal-like. It's got, like, puzzle rooms, and it's got physics puzzles, but it's a little different than Portal, I guess.
It doesn't really use the portal gun or anything. What does it? It uses a gun. Is it a gun even? It's more like just your hand.
No,
right?
you have like this
and
suit and you can manipulate
colors.
cubes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the red, you can turn certain. So kind of like in Portal, there's like certain surfaces you can only use. And in this, there's like.
And it's usually color coded.
Right. And there's like panels, and like they set up the puzzles. And like there's a blue, and the blue is like it launches things, and then the red just makes a column come out, and you can control that. And then the green spawns a cube, but if you remove that green one, it despawns the cube that it made, like that kind of shit. And the story was pretty cool. I think I'm at the end of that game, but I hit a puzzle, one of those ones where it's like I have to step away from this and think about it, and I'll come back, and hopefully I'll figure it out quickly.
There are some really cool, like, really giant puzzles or map levels that happen later on in the game, which are pretty cool. I like those ones as well.
Yeah. They do a lot with the mechanics of that game. Like, it's not just, hey, here's these three things and you're good to go for the rest of the game. It's like, I was probably like 4 or 5 hours into that game, and they're still introducing new puzzle mechanics. Like there's still new shit that they keep adding. It's really cool.
Okay. That's neat.
I guess it's like Portal 2 in that essence, where they suddenly included like the goo and all the other shit that you had to like.
The goo.
The goo.
The goo. Okay.
Also, that game is really fucking like good looking. For just like being rooms that are made out of like the walls are like made out of cubes, and some of them are kind of out a little more than others. And I think it would be a really good candidate to have ray tracing added to it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it already kind of has like a fake ray tracing-ish look to it, I guess. Like there's a lot of really good reflections on stuff, and the lighting's really good.
Okay.
Also, it runs super well.
Yeah, because it's not like very demanding of a game.
Like once I had to go into one of the configuration files to get the FPS cap to go above 120, but it was just I cranked everything all the way up, and it was 144 constant through the entire game so far, at least. Like controls are smooth. There's no mouse acceleration. I wish the movement speed was a little faster. Because it's like you're just walking and there's no sprint or anything.
It's a slow walk.
Yeah, it's a very slow walk.
It's a good game. You two should play it though. You don't really need to play Cube 1 to get into Cube 2.
Didn't they go back and add a story to Cube 1 with like the director's cut or something like that?
Director's cut or something.
Yeah,
there is a story there. I think this totally does follow Cube 1. I think you're the same person. I think. I forget, but I think you are.
Yeah, this game always looks so neat. Every time I remember you talking about it and me thinking, oh yeah, might be a game I would check out.
Is it on Game Pass?
Got a really neat aesthetic. Is every game on Game Pass now, by the way? Can we confirm?
This one was on the Twitch launcher as well. It was one of those free ones I got a long time ago.
That's where I played it.
Back when they were giving out like, hey, here's 7 free games. And like the next week after that, here's 5 free games. And then I ended up having like 105 games in my Twitch library.
Yeah, it's not on Game Pass.
Okay.
But it's probably on your Twitch list, because that was around the time everyone was adding shit on their Twitch list.
I still have to check my Twitch. I feel like I haven't checked those free games in a while. And I should sit down.
They just don't do them anymore, really.
Not really.
Yeah, that's true.
Like every now and then, maybe like once every couple months, there's like, hey, here's a couple free games. Sweet. There's some good shit on there though. Like SteamWorld Dig and SteamWorld Dig 2 are on there.
Messenger, like when it was recently out as well.
Messenger's on there.
That Cooking Brigade game.
Yeah, Battleship Brigade is on there.
Yes, yeah.
Which I need to get to as well.
Neat game. Cool. All right. Speaking of... Oh my God. Speaking of chefs, DJ, the greatest chef of them all, a chef that cooks with many different ingredients. Tell me how you play these 3 games all the same week. You know, like how did you?
It's been a couple weeks.
Tell me about Ori and the Blind Forest first off, because I like that game a lot and I've been playing that also. I haven't gotten to a point where I feel like I can talk about it, but did you get to the waterfall section yet? Did you beat the game?
I finished that game today.
Oh.
Like, just like 10 minutes before the podcast, we were planning to start. Yeah, that's a cool game. I've been like whittling away at that for like a couple weeks now. I think I mentioned playing it on this podcast before. I can't remember though. I did? Okay. So yeah, as I do, I play like an hour every so often, like a couple times a week. And it's good because like the mechanics come back to you quite naturally. Which is good because some of the platforming business, especially late game, requires a lot of that mechanics to be remembered and utilized well. That last puzzle thing that I was stuck with for like 2 hours today took quite a while to deal with because it's actually pretty hard. And then there's like one final thing chase sequence, like you mentioned the waterfall thing, something similar to that. And I was just like, oh, okay, once I do that, I'll continue on with my journey. And they're like, oh no, it ended. Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Did you find the waterfall section? Like I know we had talked about it, I think last time when you mentioned you were playing this. Did you find that waterfall section as like, wow, as I did? Because I thought that was like a really neat moment.
It's fun and cool, but I remember playing this at an EGX at like 2015 or something. Like either a year before it came out, probably a year before it originally came out, because it took a while from announcement for it to actually come out. I remember, and like they were just dumping people into like a section before the waterfall thing and then the waterfall thing. So like they didn't quite teach you the controls like ultimately to like get through the waterfall thing, because I had trouble with it. But like I had known about this waterfall thing from like when I first demoed it. So yeah, I know of that, and there's
like that section a lot. Like I think it's a really like well done little set piece moment. Like I don't know.
It is.
To me, it was like one of the best in the game that I played so far. So
yeah, it's a really cool section. It's just a shame that it like I had tech demo equivalent of it where it had like no build up or anything. Oh well.
What can you do? I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Just
that game's fun. The story tracks like throughout. It works well enough. It's cute. And it'll be interesting what they do with like Ori 2, which is that this year? Or is that like early next year? I swear it's soon though.
I think it's next year. I mean, that's just such a gorgeous game though. Like, holy cow, there are moments in that where I don't know, like all the particles and stuff, and it's just very pretty.
Yeah. We are playing the definitive edition, but I don't know what's like ultimately different from the original. I obviously can't tell because I didn't play the original, but like I assumed the original already looked like close to the skid.
Yeah. February 11th, 2020 is Ori 2.
Okay. So yeah, that's super close. Yeah, that's a good game. It's on Game Pass.
Check it out.
Everyone should play it. It's also not that long, I guess.
Sure.
I was might say probably about 10 hours, something like that.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna leave that other one
for the best. Yeah. So
Surviving
Mars was up. Yeah, it's Surviving Mars. It was one of these like free games on Epic Games Store. I don't know if it is currently now. It's probably changed. It's like it's not a. It is a city building game, but it's more like a survival city building game because you're building like colonies on Mars. And I wanted to like, I haven't played much of this. I spent like a good hour and a half going through its tutorials because it at least has like a decent chunk on tutorial in this game.
Yeah, it's from the Tropico people, right? I think it's from Tropico.
Oh, is it? Okay. That makes sense.
Studio.
Yeah. So like from what I've gleaned from this like tutorial, it's a case of like you pick a quadrant or it auto picks a quadrant out of like an 12 by 12 section on Mars. Some of them are like more habitable than others. You land your like first rocket full of drones, and then you start building stuff like pipelines, water factories, power factories, solar panels, wind generators, all that stuff until you have enough like ore, concrete. There's like it takes some liberties because there's like, hey, here's just a concrete factory, and it's just gonna take this concrete supply that's over here. It's like doesn't quite match from Mars, but whatever, I'll let it slide. And stuff like that has finite resources, so like that mine area will deplete, and then you're gonna have to scrap it and find a new source. Same with like metals and like rare Mars metals, I guess, not rare Earth metals, rare Mars metals.
Rare Mars metal.
So a lot of the stuff like depletes, which brings into that surviving factor into it. So you got to collect all these this stuff via drones and like rovers and repeated rocket trips to a benefactor, like a mystery benefactor you start with, and eventually you have enough monies to build a dome or like a couple geodesic domes, which habit people, are able to hold people, and then even inside the domes you can choose what the spaces are. Like this is going to be a space bar, or this is going to be a gym inside these domes, and then you can either have domes in like different quadrants, or like you can just have them really close to each other to like so people can walk across them.
Cool.
It's yeah, and like the whole thing is you're meant to keep expanding using research probes into other quadrants that you don't know about before. So you can start building there, moving sets of drones into the next one. Then you can create shuttle ports to like fly people across, or like drones across different quadrants, to keep expanding. So like your survivability increases. It's pretty cool. That's the basics I got from the tutorial.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds a lot like Tropico. I bet there's probably campaigns or something like that, or like challenge missions kind of thing that you can work your way through.
Yeah. So whenever I get the time, whenever I start playing, probably next week now that Ori's done, I will probably get into like a game and try and describe how far I get. But I wanted to do the tutorials so I don't get into that Anno 1800 situation where like instantly
there's no wood.
Screwed. Yeah.
And people riot and then leave you. That's fair.
Yeah, my drones don't know what to do. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Well,
start playing this because it was like free on the Epic launcher, whatever. Okay.
That's quite literally it. I've been wanting to play like a city builder or something similar to that for like ages now, but I don't want to play like Cities Skylines or fucking Sim City. So this looked interesting enough, and it's piqued my interest. Like I wanted Anno 1800 to be that.
I actually was checking because that's what I thought it was free on there for a while. Next week, Cube 2 is actually going to be free on there too. So if you missed it on the Twitch thing, you can get it then.
Isn't Surviving Mars also on Game Pass? I believe it is. I think I played.
It might be. I don't know.
I think I did. I think that was the first game I booted up on Game Pass. Somebody check for me. Let's get information.
It is included with XGP.
Okay.
Man, Game there's Pass. A lot of free game. Well, free. Like, there's a lot of games available for services right now, and it's pretty nice.
Outer Worlds.
Uh-huh. Get that preload done.
Excited for that. I'll be able to download it in like an hour.
Yeah, I'm joking because like the preload's 10 megabytes.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what the fuck?
Did you guys see that news story that people that have Game Pass are playing like 40% more games? Like, I mean, there's so many.
I believe it. Yeah.
You know, somebody plugged in like us. I feel like we're playing way more games than we were. Like we're, you know, for a while there, we each play maybe 1-2 games. We report on the podcast. Feels like ever since Game Pass came out and like Epic started doing these, you know, releasing free games, like we're all playing like more games on our Google Doc each week. I'd love to compare that. I'd love to like.
I just happen to have more time on my hands recently, and
me too.
I was like, I have these other launchers that I've probably gotten a bunch of free games on that I haven't checked out that I don't have on Steam. So let's go see what's on here, and I'll download what looks interesting and try it out.
Sure. Games. It's never been a better time to play games, guys. I don't know if you know that.
Yep.
I have Blair Witch installed. I need to play that. I think I'm going to save it. I think I'm going to save it for
Halloween game. Oh, that's my Halloween
okay.
game.
I'm gonna save it for Extra Life.
You can report back, Albie, because I want to see what someone says about that game before I try and invest time into that. Because I'm not sure if I'll like it. It looks weird.
I did buy Zumbinis also. I should let people know that for Extra Life. So, just.
So the thing about Game Pass is it's like, well, for me at least, is I got in on that $5 a month deal that they had. It was like, hey, you signed up now for $5 a month. It stays $5 a month.
Right.
Which I was like, holy shit, fuck yeah. It's like one game a year that I want to play is like paid for itself. Done.
Yep.
And that's Outer Worlds for me, basically, is going to be that game.
Yeah, my God. I'm so excited. Anyway,
it's like the only thing that I hope it doesn't do is because I'm hoping to stream it, but Xbox, those like anything from the Xbox launcher that I've played so far has this weird quirk to it. I don't know if it's the engine that they use or the weird executable type, but if you're cloning your monitor at a different refresh rate, it caps the game's frame rate to the lowest of the two.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because like Forza does it. If I have my clone hooked up to my Elgato on my capture machine, it caps Forza at 60.
Right.
If I unplug it, it jumps up to like 180. And I really hope it doesn't fucking do that. If it does, I'm just gonna go buy it on another platform.
Sure. Man.
What's this $5 deal?
It was something that they did.
Promotion.
I don't know. It was back in like
E3?
May or something. Around it was around
Yeah,
E3. It was like after they.
That was
pushed
it was
games.
like the
After
same
E3.
time as the dollar thing.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I did the dollar thing, but I bought
Took
like
advantage
2
of
years
it. Yeah.
the gold and then bought the dollar.
Like for me, it's like, why not? Like I'm not gonna unsubscribe from that. I think with the Humble Bundle stuff now, like I feel like the best deal is Game Pass now. Like Humble Bundle used to be a little bit more, like you'd get a lot of games, but now, I don't know. I feel personally that Game Pass has surpassed it. The value, my friends, the value.
For sure. Yeah.
Speaking of value,
Oh, before I've also been playing a lot of League of Legends lately. More TFT. I've been getting back into ARAMs as well. I'm actually playing the game, kind of.
you want it for Extra Life? You want to play some League of Legends?
If you level up in the
Extra
EU
Life?
server before we try it.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Do
remember
they still
that.
make you level up? Do they still
Probably.
make you level up? Oh, you gotta be kidding me! Come on now. Oh, that's
And yeah, they're doing, because the Lolly Sports World
Please never
Championships
say that again.
is happening right now. They're also doing a 10-year anniversary. Sorry, it's unrelated to the Lolly Sports. But they're doing like 10 days of like good gifts if you like win a game or play a game per day. And they're actually pretty good gifts.
Speaking of gifts,
Lolly Sports.
all right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to news now.
No, we gotta talk about this.
We're moving on to news.
The best
Put on
mobile
the
game
news.
this week. Mary,
Tell me about
had a
Destiny
button in
Child.
the chat
Sorry. It's my fault.
3 or so days ago and like showcased this amazing game from Korea. And
Korea.
in the Discord chat, I've posted some images of my playtime of some of the better people. So Destiny Child is, I think, a Korean game, but it's also like a Korean anime and a manga.
Well, it came out in
As all
Korea
things are.
originally, then it released in Japan, then it released globally, like in English. So
Yeah, so it's on like your Apple Store or Android Store, whatever, Google Play Store. That's it. Yeah, and like I don't think I've seen a game as more like insane with menus and buttons as this. Like holy shit, the amount of stuff like in this game is crazy. So first and foremost, the character models are just atrociously bad. They're just very, very special. Look at the lady that Mary is posting.
Can we just move on? Can we just
let me.
She's Uncle Sam though. It's good.
Here's like the main menu I've got, and look at like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14,
Jake, good luck.
15, 16, 17, 18, 91. There's about 25 buttons on this main screen. It's insane. And like, so like sometimes the characters are great, and then like sometimes you've got like this lady who's like all fucking celestial and stuff, which is great. But then like sometimes there's some awesome characters. Like I don't know if you've got this guy, Mary, but he's definitely a Christmas special character.
Yes, yeah, I do have him. Yes.
Yeah.
Still happening?
Like,
I have a couple.
Like, look at this fucking Santa.
He's like a deer centaur, Santa deer centaur. He's very cool.
Look at Santa centaur. He's so fucking hench. It's so good.
He actually has a counterpart where the top half is a deer and the bottom half is a human. I have him too. Let me find him. Yeah. Also, all of the summonable characters in this game are called childs.
Childs, yep.
Yeah, not children, childs. It's like an Evangelion thing or whatever. But yeah, this game is weird.
We're currently in hot time. And like, so most of these buttons are just like, here's the devil pass, here's a mission pass, here's the blessing service purchase, here's the daily support service. Oh, look at that variant. There's the
Silent
devil
red
festa.
nose. Oh, I just noticed. Sorry, the antlers are all hands too.
Oh,
so that's a fun fact.
I need that character now. So like, yeah, we're in the early stages of this game, and like it gives you lots of like gold points. So I figured I would do a 10 roll on screen.
Also, right now, the reason I started playing it is because they have a Catherine collaboration, like the Atlas game, Catherine, and I got her.
I'm very jealous that you got Catherine.
I gotta say, the actual gameplay of this game is slightly non-existent. Like you're basically just collecting pretty pictures that move of thick anime ladies.
It's the best kind of phone game.
Yeah. It's not a very good game. Like I basically when I was playing Shattered Sails, I every so often I would check on my auto battle and like tap my phone again to start another auto battle. Like that's how I play this game. It's not very involved or complicated. Like I actually have more strategy playing the Digimon game than I do this, and I have more fun playing the Digimon game. Yeah. But for now, I'm going to keep up with it just because it's so weird. Like maybe it gets better once you are out of like the beginning of the game and you're not being bombarded with like shit constantly. I don't know.
Apparently this has costumes as well, but I've not. You maybe have to like fully level them up and then unlock the costume.
That's what I assume. That this game seems pretty grindy. Like
later on it does.
I've been auto battling like for the past week, and like my highest level character is like level 8 or something, or like 12. Like I think
this whole conversation's an auto battle.
Yeah, pretty
much. I'm auto battling all the time.
Well, I mean, like you're in most gacha games, you want to get like the 5-star, like high tier characters, and they are the slowest to like make fancy in this game. So it's a weird system for sure. And also all the prices are very expensive. I'm never going to spend money.
It's so expensive.
But,
like
weird.
Any price is like so to unlock like one of the fucking pass systems to eventually unlock one of these Catherine characters, it's like £40, which is like probably $65. Like it's really bad.
It's 6,100 yen for me right now because I'm still on Japanese account, but yeah.
So that's close enough to like $61, right? Is that the general?
It's probably around 60.
Okay, So I'm gonna do this 10 roll. They also have this
Oh,
thing
boy.
saying on air starting 10 roll, and apparently you do that with friends and stuff. Watching you. So here you go. Here's this lady. Here's the whole animation that occurs, and okay, I've got a lady there. I'm gonna click next. I'm gonna do this 3 times.
I should
then I'm
add
just
you to
gonna
my
skip.
friends list, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, here's the tennis one. Here's the tennis lady who has
Her
the biggest
boobies are
rack I've
not.
seen.
That doesn't seem like the way you would want to play tennis. Like
No,
that's
not at all. Not at all. I already have her, so that's a dupe. Here's a 4-star, maybe. Yay! It's a goth lady. It's a goth child. I'm gonna skip
Persephone.
them.
No,
You
I
have
want
this one already?
to see if you.
Nope, I've
No,
skipped
but
them.
I think I've seen it.
Look at self-righteous Atin. Do I have any 5 stars there? No, I have a 4-star, and that's it. Boo! This game
Ow.
sucks. Oh, I already have this Persephone. Yeah, this game sucks. But then you
Yeah,
also
it
have
does
characters
suck,
like this.
but
Once it finally
All right.
dies, that was
The
worthwhile.
news this
Look at that
week.
lady. Look at that lady.
We're gonna start off with Volition has found the source code for Saints Row 2. Everybody,
What?
big news coming out of Volition. They found the source code. They dug in a chest of
lost it?
drawers. They lost it at some point.
Yeah, apparently.
This is for the PC version of Saints Row 2. And they announced on a Twitch stream they had found the source code. My question is, how do you lose the source code? Where does that go? Is that on a disk?
It's when you
But how do
don't
you-
give a. It's when you're making a PC port back in the days when people didn't give a shit about PC ports and they just shit this thing out and didn't care to archive any of the code. And then I think Volition got bought by somebody and they may have lost
Yes, they
the
did,
source
didn't they?
code in
Deep
that.
Silver?
Yeah, in that transfer they may have lost the source code, because apparently they had to contact some other company that just happened to have it on a server somewhere.
Oh,
makes
okay.
sense.
So they didn't even find it in a closet in a box.
Yeah,
on
I
a
think
hard drive
they had to track it down from some other company.
It's the sort of thing that I love about video games is that it's not improbable that somebody just put it on a hard drive and walked out the front door at some point, and somebody was digging around in a closet years later and went oh shit, look at this. That's something you don't get often
Put it on
with other forms of media.
Put it on a hard drive and tuck it into the ceiling tiles.
Yeah. Oh my god, look at this. We found a fucking source code for this thing. Yeah, oh, it's so
Why
good.
is the link that you've given for this news just their Twitch account?
It was that was when they announced it. You can click on their recent videos, I think was.
That'd be better if you
mean,
linked the video.
There's
So are
probably
you
an
gonna-
article summarizing it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically they're
Not
gonna
every link
go
is
back and
amazing.
make the port not suck. They're gonna fix a bunch of shit
Hopefully.
with the port. Hopefully.
Okay.
It's not an official on the clock project that they're working on. It's more of an after hours kind of a labor of love sort of thing for the people who want to work
Sure.
on it, who really like that original game.
So for the fixes, is it going to be a free update then, or is this
Probably.
also they can sell it
Probably,
again?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Because they're probably not releasing very much. They're not redoing.
Oh, and they're adding all
I think
the,
it's just
the
a
DLC
patch or something.
that was console exclusive.
Okay.
So they're adding all that in.
So maybe
I
a
don't
paid
know.
thing.
That sounds like an excuse
more
for
like a
them
paid
to
thing.
sell it again. Yeah. Especially now that they're owned by a
HD
different
remake.
company and they don't have a new game coming anytime soon. I don't know.
I still
I'm
gotta
cynical though.
play that last game of theirs. What was that called? The one, not the Saints
The
Row
one that was bad? Yeah, that's what I was
Oh,
thinking
Agents
of.
of Mayhem.
I actually heard that was all right. It actually got to a point after some patches and stuff where it ended up being okay. But
Didn't they shut
I
that
heard
game
one
down?
of the flaws is
I don't think it was live, was
Did
it?
it need to be served? Yeah. What?
I think that was a single player game. I think you're thinking of the other studio that made that Borderlands game, but it was online that everybody hated. What's that game called? I don't remember what it was. It's one of those. That was a weird time period.
And Battleborn is still running, so it's not that.
How is Battleborn still running? That's my question. We can move on. I just wanted to briefly mention, because I thought this was cool, and this is kind of wrapped around another thing I wanted to talk about, but Valve is implementing a music app type, which means game soundtracks can be bought without owning the base game, and there's extra track metadata kind of stuff. This came out of a tweet by the Steam database, SteamDB, where they can put out official soundtracks of games now, I guess, which I thought was a really good idea for them.
That's cool.
Pretty neat.
Not sure how much of a problem that was. I mean, maybe if you played something on a different source and you just want to get the soundtrack, or you're like, hey, I want to give them some extra money, I guess that would work.
So my real topic on this, the secret topic behind the real topic was, hey y'all, what's if I was gonna buy a vinyl video game soundtrack to use on a record player, which vinyl soundtrack?
Snatcher, because that's what I did, and it's cool and blue see-through. I'll fucking get it right now. You discuss amongst yourselves on the video game soundtrack. Sorry.
I was thinking
the only thing I would ever buy on vinyl are like albums that mean a lot to me, or like that I like my favorite albums of like all time.
Yeah,
like things that I can still go back to and listen and enjoy. Like I've got probably like 5 or 6 albums that come into mind, one of which has not been pressed on vinyl, unfortunately.
So my only vinyl I ever got was because I worked their gig while I was at uni. I was just like doing the front office, like doing tickets and coat check and stuff, and had the time to buy it. It's a Cannibal Corpse album, and I've never listened to it. And it is.
I mean, yeah, I probably
very
wouldn't
weird
listen to
vinyl.
I probably wouldn't listen to them either. I'd probably hang them up, just like display them or something.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to a Motion City soundtrack show in January, and me and my friends got the VIP upgrade, and it comes to the vinyl. I'm never gonna fucking open that. I might open it just to like display it or something. Put it in a whatever those. It's not like a frame. It's like deeper than a frame.
Plexiglass case or something.
Shadow box.
That's a pretty sweet vinyl case, by the way.
It's a double disc thing. It's fancy as fuck. Just random Gillian.
Okay.
Gillian.
Yo, boy, Gillian.
Would be the Hotline Miami album set, which is definitely sold out because they did release it and it was really cool at the time.
Is it unmanly to say I would want the Life is Strange 1 soundtrack on vinyl? Is that too much to...
It's not a good soundtrack.
Okay, that hurts. But how about Alan Wake on a vinyl?
I don't remember the soundtrack to that game.
Neither do I. I remember the soundtrack to Life is Strange 1 more than I remember the soundtrack to Alan Wake.
I was thinking Psychonauts, since that's probably my favorite game.
I also do not remember anything about that. Yeah.
If it's sentimental for you, then sure, because that's why I got the Snatcher soundtrack. Also, the Snatcher soundtrack is very good. So
sure. Like I don't know if I have bought a musical thing ever. So like I'm not a big listen to bands. Like I listen to people on YouTube occasionally and like music that way, but I'm not like a big music head. So I knew we have a vinyl record player, and I thought, what vinyl CD of maybe a video game soundtrack, film soundtrack would be something that I would enjoy.
Like the stuff I would buy on vinyl are albums that I listened to a lot in like high school when I was learning how to play the drums, and like albums that I listened to on fucking repeat, and that I basically taught myself how to play the drums by playing along to. There's probably 3 or 4 of those are those kind of albums.
Cool.
People will say Nier Automata.
Okay. How about Red Dead 1? It's a pretty good one. No? Everybody wants the Order 1886 vinyl soundtrack, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at a list of final soundtracks here. LA Noire would be an interesting one, or like a Fallout, maybe.
You should
Yeah,
check the link
there's-
that I posted in the chat. They sell some video game stuff. But yeah,
Well,
I don't know. I would look at the places that actually sell shit and see if there's anything you actually want.
Sure.
There was a Mafia 3 collector's edition that had a vinyl of its soundtrack. That didn't sell, so you're likely to still find it somewhat cheap somewhere.
maybe a Halo. Halo, I would be interested in. They did a Halo, that'd be cool. Maybe a Dark Souls.
Oh my god, Albie.
Uh-huh.
You remember that PlayStation game you played, LSD? You streamed it
Uh-huh.
before? They have the official soundtrack to buy it on this website that I linked it to. Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Fuck.
I'm tempted to get that now.
Yeah, I might pick that one up. That one's so, I don't know what that would even sound like. I'd probably be haunted by playing that LSD game. I don't want to do that. I don't know. Uncharted would be another good one.
I would maybe get that Warframe vinyl if it has the
Warframe,
that one song that I cannot remember the title to because I'm the worst. The one with the Fortuna area. God, I'm terrible.
Control.
I'm also distracted by this cat again. So.
Okay, that's fine. Control would also be a good one to get. I like Control's music a lot. But I like Control a lot. Sure. Yeah, sure, right?
Just for
that ashtray maze.
One certain track. Yes,
I know what you're talking about.
The music that plays during the ashtray.
We're on the same page, brother. I'll tell you. Okay.
I would probably get the soundtrack for Sword and Sorcery on vinyl. The game that came out a really long time ago. It's like 2010. I think soundtrack for that's really fucking good.
The phone is ringing. But we're going to talk about Riot Games. It's announced every game ever. Every game at the Riot Jam Pack 10th anniversary live stream. I think they announced 5 games, didn't they? Or 6? 5, 6?
The only I don't know. The only one I give a shit about is their shooter.
So that is, what is it? Project A?
Project A, yeah.
Yeah. So that's like I was like, oh, okay, they're making a shooter. It's like a tactical FPS almost. Like it seems more Counter-Strike mixed with a little Overwatch.
I think it's because I see people all over. It's like, they're making an Overwatch clone. It's like, not really. They're making Counter-Strike, but it's got kind of some Overwatch styling kind of sprinkled on it, and it's got like abilities and stuff, which I'm a little wishy-washy on that. Like, we'll see how fantastical those powers are and see if that takes away from the 5. I'm guessing it's probably gonna be a 5v5 round based game, and it's got like bomb sites and stuff. Like there's signs on the walls in that footage that they posted. It's like A, and there's like an arrow, like go this way. So
yeah,
my guess is it's gonna be basically Counter-Strike, but with abilities and powers and stuff.
Sure. Okay. They also announced, as everyone would thought, that fighting game they're going to be making.
Yeah, I think they technically announced it earlier, but
yeah, kind of, but like never like did some PR or big press event.
It's called Project L
of like Katarina and Mordekaiser. Yeah.
It looked good. I mean, it looks good, right? Like, I'm not a fighting game guy, but I think it looks like a fighting game. It looks competently made from at least a few clips I saw. It looked like that other game they made, the one with the robots.
The robots, yeah,
with League of Legends characters.
Rise of Thunder. Yeah. That was the name, I think.
There's a card game for lovers of Hearthstone. It's actually more like Magic the Gathering than Hearthstone. There's like different reaction effects and stuff like that, and if somebody does something, you can play a card to counter it, that kind of thing, more than more than Hearthstone, which is turn kind of thing. So, and then there's what's the other thing? They're doing like a management sim. Are they doing a management sim?
Yeah, it's like a League of Legends esport.
Yeah, an
management
esport.
sim. Yeah,
I forgot about that. Yep.
It's kind of a novel concept.
Yeah.
Does it look? I haven't seen any of the trailers for this stuff. Does it look more like Football Manager, or is it more like Honey Cam or whatever? Like how?
My guess is it's
going to
be like Football Manager.
There was a brief trailer on a Chinese website that I linked there. Of course, China in the headlines right now. Anyway, sort of
apparently it's
weird.
being released at the same time as one of their like esports events coming up. So I don't know if they're like actually gonna tie it into real world stuff.
Yeah. Like a fantasy football almost?
Like a seasonal fantasy football or something. I'm not sure if they're gonna try and do that or not. Maybe. That would make sense.
I think we all knew at some point Riot was gonna release a bunch of games because they've been sort of quiet for so long, and they've they gained quite a lot of money for stuff. I kind of think we all figured
they
hey,
hired
we're gonna
other
go
developers.
Yeah,
like there's been inklings of Riot's working on other games because they want to be Riot Games plural.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been in their name since they started.
They announced an animated series as well. Is it Moe on the Riot Games animated series? We'll bring on DJ to talk about Riot Games animated show. That's the only thing he'll talk about. Thank you.
Great.
That makes sense. They got a lot of great animators over there and a lot of great style people they brought over the years. So like, that'll be fine. And the final thing is they're bringing League of Legends to like mobile. Like they got like a mobile
and
version
consoles.
of League of Legends now, and consoles too, which is
how that's gonna work. I have no idea, but
we will see. But I would play League of Legends again on my phone because I hate it. Thank you.
So is Teamfight Tactics on phones yet? Like, did they announce that too? Because I know
feel like they wanted to have announced that, right?
I feel like it's on phones.
Okay, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
I feel like this thing, they announced it to be coming to phones. I'm not sure. I think at some point they are getting it onto a phone.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to. 1 second. Go ahead.
Well, never mind.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, hit me with it. Hit me with it, man.
You just go to Amazon and type in video game vinyl. You're gonna find a lot of video game vinyls.
Yeah, I bet.
You want Guild Wars 2?
Hey man, let me tell you about the original Guild. So, well, I'm gonna let you talk about this for a second while I go run and grab the phone, because apparently it's ringing off the hook. But okay, my father said he has it, so that's good. The first real photo of the PlayStation 5 dev kit has appeared. Y'all, look at that dev kit. What do you think of that looking thing, huh?
It's very ugly. It looks like what I heard. Hell. It looks like what I heard it looks like. I don't remember which website, but they talked about having photos sent into them as well, and they didn't publish them. They just had like drawings made that were similar.
Right.
So it looks the same as what I saw previously, but holy shit, that thing's ugly. I hope the consumer model doesn't look anything like that. I
hope that is.
It won't. I'm sure it won't.
Yeah, it 1000% won't, but I hope it's similar because it looks so stupid and good.
Like I like the idea of it being like this kind of V-looking thing. Like if they cut that middle portion out and then make it all like a plastic case, right? Like
that thing is massive, though.
It's huge, yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's why
like
it won't be this.
A micro ATX case on its side.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even if it's a scaled down version though, I don't want the ugly V cut out in the
I want the
center. Like
cutout V.
I get
I do want the cutout V.
the gimmick, but it looks so ugly. I don't I guess all early model PlayStations, like all launch PlayStations after the 2 look super ugly anyway, so
Like, say this, all the PlayStations recently have looked like, all the game consoles look so generic. Like, here's a box. Like, then none of them got that like style to them. Like, none of them look aggressive.
Yeah, because it's not the 90s anymore.
But what if it was?
I just want a plain box. I don't care.
Nah, I don't want a plain box.
No.
That's boring.
Yeah.
I'm boring. So
I want this hench beast looking motherfucker that needs all the fucking vents to run.
So wasn't the rumor, or at least one of the rumors, that they're aiming for full backwards compatibility with 1, 2, 3, and 4? Wasn't that like one of the hot takes? If this thing is as big as they think it is, it could be the actual. Like, it could be all the consoles like wrapped into one huge fucking thing.
I think if they did do that, like it wouldn't necessarily all be through like direct hardware. Like I'm pretty sure there would be a lot of emulation going on.
It's going to have an x86 processor and a cell processor because, boy, you know we got a lot of those sitting around. I can get out the reflowers, put one of those on the board.
I feel like they've done 2 and 1 together. They've done 3 and 2 together, and they've done like. Has the PS4 been able to backwards compatibly 3, or did you have to like download the games and then like download versions of the PS3 games?
I think it was never backwards compatible with the 3, as far as I know. Yeah, like the 3, the first version was backwards compatible with the 2 or something
and the
like
1,
that.
because it had the hardware. It had hardware backwards compatibility.
And they kept the 1, but not the 2. And I don't
or
think
something.
I think the 3 was just always by itself. So
that's also just
from what I remember.
It's a big looking thing. I wonder what that. I don't know. That looks neat in a way. If they clean it up a little bit, I think you'll be impressed. If it's smaller,
I don't know, maybe
and like sleek, like I like the V.
Smaller,
I like the V a lot.
the edges.
Yeah, soften it. Get
But
a
then
nice.
It's gonna be
will
a
they
boring
be able
box,
to-
is what it's gonna be, because it's gotta sit on your entertainment center.
The first version is always going to be huge because then they can't sell a smaller version later on.
Yep.
But yeah, it's neat to see an actual picture because, yeah, like I said, I saw that news story a while ago that was like, oh, this is supposedly what it looks like with the giant V cut out and the grill like surrounding the V. Oh god.
Right.
It looks like the ugliest like gaming rig from like 2002 or some shit.
I love it.
Old Alienware cases.
I love it.
Exactly.
I love it. Very cool. Okay, we'll move on to our last news story. I don't know what else there is to say about this, but I figured we would cover it. Blizzard been fucking up, my friends. Blizzard been out here shooting itself.
Like, I think everybody knows about the whole Blizzard situation. I mean, if you don't, I recommend looking it up. Just look up Blizzard Hearthstone China. Put those words into your Google, and you'll find out. I remember recently, like before the layoffs, about how much Activision is taking control of Blizzard, and I wonder if this is a part of it. Like, I'd like to think so. I'd like to think it's evil Activision instead of like Blizzard, but who knows? Like, all of this is just depressing. Of course, the situation in Hong Kong is the most depressing of all. Like, of course.
Sure.
But man, this and just I don't understand why they punish the casters whatsoever. Yeah, I'll let somebody else talk because it just makes me mad.
So the only thing I would say is, obviously, that's a bad look for Blizzard, obviously, but I feel like this is not going away. Like a lot of people, when this first started coming out, were like, "Oh yeah," but then people will move on, right? Like it seems to happen sometimes with gaming things. Is a bad thing will happen, and then maybe some little like statement from the organization, and then we all move on in a week or two. But this just kind of keeps coming back up, like in a surprising way. Like
it reminds me of the situation around like Fallout 76, where there would just be like another related bad news story coming up.
Yep.
And speaking of that, you know how they promised how they would only have like microtransactions for cosmetic items before the game came out? That's no longer the case anymore. So
Weird.
And they're like, yeah, what a surprise, huh? But anyway, it's just
for Fallout,
capitalism ruining things once again, making people lie or whatever. I don't know. Just video game companies make me angry.
So sort of the
because
thing
I'm
was,
on the internet.
Yeah. No, that's fair. We're all plugged in, Mary, please. We're all plugged in. So like the first kind of thing, the event in question happened, the banning of obviously Blizz Chung and the two casters. And then it was like, then they put out eventually like a lot of uproar, and then they put out a statement, which was a terrible, terrible statement.
That was probably written by someone who speaks Chinese natively.
Yep.
That somebody on Reddit was like, this is weird. Like, I speak Chinese is my first language, and I know English, but it's like all of these sentence structures and like how they write and stuff is very Chinese, and it sounds very stiff and weird in English.
Sure.
That might just be because it was PR work to death as well, too. I don't know.
And something that could maybe easily translate between English and Chinese, maybe?
I don't know. I don't think they want the apology tone that was presented in English. Like there actually was an official statement put out on Weibo by Blizzard in Chinese, and they were talking about how they would. I don't remember the specific phrasing, but it was something about how they would always defend China and blah blah blah. I should look that up instead of misrepresenting what was there, but go ahead.
So they put out those statements, right? And then I kind of felt like the next thing was they started canceling a bunch of events. Blizzard cancels its Overwatch event. I mean, Nintendo canceled kind of the Switch launch for the Overwatch event. That stuff all kind of started happening. They canceled a kind of a BlizzCon Taiwan event and a bunch of different like small events they were having that I didn't even know they were having these events. They don't really PR them very much, but they started canceling a bunch of them. They postponed an event in Taiwan at some point. I think they might have actually went back and canceled that at some point. I think I read that today, but
the line, sorry, I found it specifically that they put out says, "We will defend the pride and dignity of China at all costs." Like this is somebody's translation, so of course that could be off. And it's the internet, but yeah.
But the U.S. statement is very much like, "Hey, China had nothing to do with the banning at all. Our relationship there, there's no reason. It's just divisive opinions. Everybody, we don't want any kind of."
But there's also the background of like what's going on with the NBA and the Houston Rockets and players speaking out about that, and then getting Rockets games banned. It's a whole climate with companies having to decide like what their stance is going to be and how they're going to deal with the whole one China policy kind of thing. It's I don't know, governments and capitalism, they're not a fun time.
No.
Yeah.
And then 2 days ago
coming out with like other companies.
Sure.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of companies are trying to avoid this kind of thing as much as possible. Like, yeah, it's, I don't know, it's tough. like you see all the time about movies getting certain things changed so they're able to release okay in China, or inputting like a Chinese star or whatever
That's
for like
true.
a cameo role. It's interesting. Like I understand companies want to make money, and especially now that we have like a global marketplace, you have to consider like what'll fly in other regions. Like you're not allowed to have vagina bones in Fire Emblem, like crossover games on the Nintendo. Like just I don't know.
Not getting my money.
And I think the crazy thing is we've talked about this several different times. Rainbow Six had some things they changed there. You know, we've talked about obviously Fire Emblem.
They backed out on that.
They changed it back.
Yeah, they did.
We did talk about it though. I forgot. But it's kind of been a trend over this last year that, like, I don't know, we've seen like, hey, China, you know, we gotta censor this or that or move this way for that. Like, for me, it's been a very interesting development of like, oh, it's finally coming to a head, huh? It's finally like this is finally going bad. Finally,
well, I mean, Chinese like rules regarding entertainment is one thing. When it's like trying to stamp out different identities among Chinese people and trying to make them all be one's like basically a mainlander identity. I don't know. I'm not Chinese, so I don't want to like paint everything with a super broad brush, but you see like a lot of stuff with Tibet and Taiwan and the Uyghurs and Hong Kong, and it's yeah, I don't know. It's way above my pay grade, and I feel terrible that like people that are fighting for like what they want their lives to be and who they want to be governing them and how they want the laws to work. It's weird that it spills over into just card games, virtual card games.
Into a virtual card game, you know, yeah. So in a rare moment of like bipartisan support, 2 days ago, the U.S. Congress released a letter to Kochik, chief executive officer at Activision Blizzard, signed by both Marco Rubio and AOC, and like fucking Republicans and Democrats coming together to like tell off Blizzard for
a sternly worded letter. I'm sure that'll really do something.
Yeah. But I found this so like, well, now you really stepped in it. Now it's on like, now if you ever thought you were going to get out of this, every time something with Hong Kong comes up in the next couple of years, you're going to be there. You're going to be the one that everyone looks at.
And the whole thing is that BlizzCon is coming up very soon. And people are just wondering like what all is going to happen there. I know there are already protests planned. Like
there's a protest
what
Reddit.
Are they going to do? Yeah. So, like it's I mean, everybody who's on the internet and paying attention to video games has seen this stuff. I just hope, I don't know, it would be nice if all of this stuff somehow led to like, and actually the government getting involved. Like, I hope the government actually does something more than just say like, no, don't be mean to the people protesting in Hong Kong. Like, I hope some real actions or I don't know. I'm not a politician. I'm not involved in foreign policy, but something to where we could actually help would be nice because right now I just feel useless.
Sure.
I was honestly not expecting Ron Wyden to like it was like a day before
who's
that
Wyden?
Senator from Oregon is one of the people who
was
on this.
So that's why you know him. Okay.
Like a day or two before this document came out, he had a couple Twitter posts like basically just saying, hey, this is fucked up. And I want to let more people know about it that are outside of the gaming. The gaming space.
I think it's neat that you're now seeing, at least in the United States political scene, like a lot of the younger people have played games and sort of know, you know, a little bit more about games and kind of speak about it a little bit more, especially when something big goes down. So it's neat to see at least.
Well, Wyden,
I know AOC plays.
Ron Wyden is known for actually like doing research into like tech stuff, like tech news, and like actually tries to understand it before voting on laws about it. And he's got a track record of doing his due diligence on this shit, which is pretty cool.
So yeah, we'll see how this develops. If you thought hottest mess category was locked at any point before this strong contender. Let me tell you what. Strong contender.
I am super interested to see how BlizzCon goes. Like,
yeah,
are they going to make some kind of official statement? Are they just going to pretend like none of this is happening?
They're just gonna,
like,
that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, probably. Hoping it'll all go away, but I don't know.
There's gonna be a picture. I can already feel it of a big protest and it just devolving, and it's gonna be people in cosplay protesting BlizzCon. It's gonna be a real something. Something's gonna come out.
What are they like? It was bad enough last year with the Q&A at panels after the Diablo phone stuff. Like this totally even whips it up even more. Like, what are they going to do for like community interaction like at BlizzCon? Like, is it going to exist anymore? Is it all just going to be like official mouthpiece kind of stuff? Like,
is it just going to be like an E3 press conference, like a Nintendo
I wonder,
Treehouse stream? Like, I don't know. Like if you have, it's gonna be hard.
Oh, Midge in the chat, sorry, he also pointed out that like workers at Blizzard also walked out as like a show of protest when this happened too. So even people inside the company are like, this is fucked up. Sorry, I totally forgot about that. And that was important.
And they also, I believe there was a banner that at some point was over the top of one of the buildings that somebody hung, and like
there's a plaque or something. There's like a sculpture or something outside their office that has like
a big statue that has plaques at the bottom.
It has plaques at the bottom, and somebody covered up a bunch of them because they basically went completely against what Blizzard just did.
Yep.
Yeah, the plaques had statements of like the company core values, talking about freedom of expression and stuff, and it's messed up for sure. Like, I can understand like trying to protect your market, and like the NBA has been banned. Like, their Rocket games are not allowed to be shown over there right now. And so I can understand on one hand, like, of course the company wants to make money, but what about like core values that you're supposed to have in a company too at the same time? Like, that's got to be tough to manage if you give a shit. Yeah.
Look, I understand from like a perspective of like, if I'm on the board, like the point of a company like is to make money as like a CEO. Like, you got to walk a line here, and like I get it. Like, I'm not saying, oh, he's a bad person or something like that. I'm saying that there are times when it's time to put aside the money and say, we're an American company, like Activision Blizzard. A lot of their people came up from America, and like, I think it's time to say, hey, we have a core set of values. If we can't do business, that's too bad. But it's coming to a head at some point. They might have to say that. I'm just saying, things are evolving very quickly.
Like, I think BlizzCon is possibly the chance for them to turn this around. Maybe, like, if they got a miracle they can pull out of their butt, like they could maybe do it. But
I don't know what they can do.
It's looking very rough.
What can they do without pissing off Tencent or whatever Chinese investors? Probably Tencent, right? I'm guessing.
Tencent, mostly.
Yeah.
And just the Chinese government in general. Like, they hadn't gotten anything from the government yet, but I'm sure that's what they're worried about. So I don't know.
Who knows? All right. We will move on then to our final segment. Take a moment and just let it chill. And we will do a quick hit it, Jake. There we go. And need like a hat or something to put on during
Get
this.
on with it.
Welcome to Thousands. Welcome to Thousands quiz show. End of the year quiz show. Welcome. We have 3 questions and a bonus question today.
I guess.
On the quiz.
Still 2 months left.
You could have made it a spooky Halloween quiz show.
Could have made it a spooky Halloween quiz show. Thank you. Cut the music. Thank you. Welcome to Thousands quiz show today. If whoever gets the most points here today will get a special 4th question and a chance to win something for Christmas.
Oh no,
I don't
is this
know.
where everyone finds out that I'm a fake gamer girl? Fuck.
Yes, this is it. You're gonna be outed. All right, first question. Year to date, what is the highest selling video game of 2019? I will go from clockwise from the bottom of my screen at least.
You're gonna have to, you're
DJ.
gonna have to say names. Oh
DJ.
shit, I'm first. Great, I can't believe I'm first. What does the Warcraft remaster count?
Yes.
Then that.
Wait. Okay. Mary.
The classic Warcraft classic.
I'm gonna say Grand Theft Auto 5.
Okay. Jake.
I could see it.
Highest grossing game, Jake, 2019 year to date.
Highest grossing game, like one that existed before 2019, but is still making
sales,
money.
Highest sales.
Sales number or money for this year?
Sales. It's from N
like copies sold of the game.
Top selling games.
Okay.
Video games, retail and digital, year to date, ending September 2019.
I feel like I've been screwed.
You can pick a different one. I'll let you pick a different one for now. I can tell you that Warcraft.
I don't even know what games came out this year.
Me?
Fuck.
I thought you did.
That's a fine pick.
It's
pick one, Jake.
Control.
Games. Okay.
Control's a good check.
Go ahead, DJ. What you think?
I know that's not right, but whatever. I'm going with it.
I'm changing it to Minecraft.
Minecraft?
Fucking, who knows? Kids still buy that shit.
The closest one was Mary.
No,
with
Mary.
Grand Theft Auto
Fair enough. She wins.
5, which was the 10th highest selling game of 2019 to September. Number 1. Drum roll, please. We have NBA 2K20.
Wow.
Highest
Really?
highest sales.
Okay.
No.
Would
Number 2
Overwatch
is
have
Mortal.
beaten Mary?
Overwatch would not have even been on the list.
Wow, that's surprising to me.
Number 2 was Mortal Kombat 11. Number 3 was Borderlands 3. Number 4 was Madden NFL 20. Number 5 was Kingdom Hearts 3. Number 6 was Tom Clancy's The Division 2. 7, Anthem. 8, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And 9, Resident Evil 2. And obviously 10.
I kind of wish you had like the actual grossing, like who made the most money per game, because it would be very easy and you could just say Fortnite. So
it's true.
Yeah.
Okay. I will give Mary the point. She got the closest. 1 point
Yay.
for Mary. Number 2. Question number 2. I can just say this is an extremely easier question than you would think. Which game which game did not come out in 2019? Life is Strange episode 2, and Life is Strange 2 episode 2. Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown, or Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Smash Brothers that came out
in?
in December. Like,
No, go ahead.
well,
from
I did
DJ
it
from the
fast,
bottom.
So.
Why do I
Well,
have to go
Smash
first?
Brothers. So
Smash Brothers. I'm going for Smash Brothers.
You can't give a multiple choice question to 3 people.
Pick
Why
one,
not?
and the others pick one of the remaining ones.
Okay, that's fair. I should have picked like.
So I'm
Should have
winning.
given me like 10. Mary's number.
Everyone gets a point.
Jake,
Thank
which one
you,
did you
Mary.
pick? Go ahead. Let's.
It doesn't matter which one I pick.
Why?
Pass.
Okay. Well, then you get Jake's in third place, DJ's in second, Mary's in first.
How did DJ get a point?
He got Super
Copied
Smash
Mary.
Brothers right.
Okay, fine. Super Smash Brothers. Give me a fucking point.
It's too late. You're in third place. Question number 3. Question number 3.
This sucks, man.
Okay. Question number 3. Here we go. Let's see if you can tie. it. Question number 3. Which game was the first game shown at the Microsoft E3 2019 press conference? DJ.
Why am I going first all the time? I am going to say Halo.
Okay.
Halo?
Mary.
Guessing.
Infinite. I'll go with Infinite for you.
I know it
The
wasn't
next
Halo
one.
Infinite because it was
Well,
at the
fuck me.
end this year, but I don't know what was first.
Great.
Shit. I'm gonna say
Either way,
Gears of
I'm
War
fucking
5.
failed.
I'm guessing Gears of War 5 because that came out
Okay.
recently.
That's
so-
definitely in the middle because I remember the wrestlers
damn
on the
it.
ground. But
Jake,
that's
I
still
want
closer to the front than the furthest away from the first game.
Jake, I want you to think really hard about the conversation we had today about Game Pass. We have mentioned this game today on this podcast.
I
Was it
wouldn't
the
think
Outer
it was
Worlds?
Outer Worlds.
It was Outer
it Outer
Worlds.
Worlds? Wow.
Yep. Jake gets a point. Ties with optics. There
Damn. Okay.
you go. Okay. Well, you want your special question, Mary? For your let's see if you can get it right at the
Sure.
end of the year.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Last question. Which game of the games coming out for the remainder of this year, I'll give you 3, will have the highest amount of sales? Here we go. And you'll find out January 1st, 2020. That's when you'll receive the
Will-
gift if you win.
This is
If you
Any
win,
of us remember?
I will. We're going to hit this back. Don't worry. I didn't really have I didn't know what to do
What's
for
your list?
one to poll.
Yeah. Go.
It's Death Stranding, Jedi Fallen Order, or Pokemon Sword and Shield. Which of
Pokemon.
these-
It's gonna
Yeah.
be Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you count
Okay.
Sword and Shield, if you're not counting them separately,
Give her the
even though
present
it's
now.
on though it's on a new console, I think it'll probably be Pokemon. Even with the National Dex controversy, it'll probably be
The
Pokemon.
National
know
Dex
who's-
controversy.
Like you can't put it's not going to have all the Pokemon in the Pokemon, so people are mad.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to be buying that Pokemon game. Am I going to be buying Death Stranding? No, not until it
No.
comes out
Why?
on PC. Am I going to be
Yeah.
buying the other game you mentioned and I can't remember anymore? Probably not, because I don't even remember what it is.
Yep.
Jedi Fallen. Okay.
Oh yeah, if I
Star Wars. Come on.
I might get
I
EA
thought it would sell
Origin
higher.
Access Premiere or something for like
Yeah.
a month if it's on there. But yeah,
Okay.
but I'm buying that Pokemon. Fuck me, I guess. Like, yeah.
Hit me with that music one more time. Thank you everybody for playing. This has been an idea that I'm gonna keep trying to workshop. We'll do quizzes every once in a while.
Now that you've done
I've
a
been your
trial
host.
run,
Yeah, it definitely needs to be workshopped.
You're a quiz host. I don't know what the goal is. Like I'm scoring points for you guys. The points don't matter. Everything is made up. Thank you for joining
Does
us.
Mary want a present, or is this now just a
We're waiting.
long-running
We're
game?
waiting until we're waiting until January 1st. That we'll give Mary a present. She won a present today. Congratulations, Mary. Thank you, everybody. That's been episode 177 from
Sweet.
Ramsar Baghdad. 78 of Ramsar Baghdad. I've been your host, Albie. want to thank you all for joining us. Thank you to my wonderful guests today. I hope everybody had a good time. We will see you next time.
My cat did.
Certainly.
You're listening to the audio version of this. We record these shows live on Twitch every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/RomsOverBaghdad. Maybe come hang out. We got a chat going.
Yeah. DJ, where can they find this podcast? Tell us where they can find this podcast.
RomsOverBaghdad.com. You can find the sister podcast at isit.moe.
Okay. Mary, can you tell them where they can send their questions and thoughts?
Is it romsbag@gmail.com?
There you go.
Okay.
Has anybody checked that email address in like a year?
Nope.
You should check it.
I'm checking now.
We've been
do it now, DJ.
There's probably gonna be actual questions on there, maybe. And they're just like, "What the fuck?"
No, there's nothing. There's GoDaddy cancellations. There's some Streamlabs shit.
Okay.
And some Twitch stuff. Jordan from GoDaddy GUI wants to talk about shit.
Okay, what's Jordan want to talk about?
Contacting the office of council member. Did someone use this to talk to a council member?
No, what?
Well, it sounds like a spam to me.
Possibly. Yeah.
What's council member doing? How's he doing today? It's good. All right, and thank you everybody so much for joining us. Mary, what's the Twitter account also where they can tweet us?
I don't know.
I think it's at Romsbag.
I basically I haven't used Twitter in like a month or two now because I've just gotten lazy. So
that's for the best in some ways. So all right, tune in next week where we'll have another quiz, maybe. Who knows? I've been your host.
Oh boy.
It was fun. I liked
Thank
it.
you. I'll have more questions. Some of them might shock you. Good night.
Sobble Squad!
Fuck Sobble.
Ooh, fuck Sobble.
I like Sobble.